Alrighty, mic. Already, mic testing. I had a rash on my throat or something. Okay, let me go to my main camera. Oh, we're live. And am I like here? Let me just go live here. Alright, we're live. And as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, I'm going to be working on variables again in C++, including data types. I did that on last stream, but since I just streamed for 2 hours because I have my college stuff, I couldn't stream the whole thing. Like, I didn't master it, but this stream, I'm going to be trying to master it. That's the reason I even started streaming sooner, because I didn't have college today. That said, let me go to my gameplay screen. Okay, am I audible? Okay, perfect. Let me actually get Sensei there for a bit. And this is my VS Code from yesterday, guys. I didn't add any code whatsoever here. Okay, let me say, Sensei, it's the next day and I'm live again, exclamation. And I want to work on these same things we did today. Maybe a bit of else if and else clause at the end of the stream, but I'll let you know when I want to do that. Okay, that said, let me send this. Alright, soldier. Alright, soldier, you're live. The stream is watching, and the failure is not an option. And failure is not an option to deliver sharpening the same weapons as yesterday. Input, output, variables, calculations. We'll hammer these until they're muscle memory. Then when you're ready, we'll march into the battlefield of if, else if, and show your viewers how you can bend logic and stuff. Alright, warm-up drill number 1. Write a program that asks the user for their favorite number. Integer asks the user for their favorite animal. String prints. Okay, before that, I do want to ask you a question. So say, before I start, I have a quick question. ... What is this called? Question mark. So the first one is gonna be is this the ankle braces? And then I wanted to know about this because I did forget the name. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was like an something with inter, I forgot. And that was there anything else? Honestly, just these for now. That said, good. Asking the right questions, asking the right time, okay, in front of your stream when they need to know. Okay, these are called angle brackets, okay? This is called insertion operator. This is called extraction operator. Alright, I see. Okay, with that said, let me get Sensei here and see the instructional based question. So it says write a program that uses that the user, it asks the user for an integer favorite number, asks the user for a favorite animal string, and prints your favorite number is number and your favorite animal is animal. That said, first I include IO stream. Okay, first I include IO stream, then using namespace standard. Let me go to the controller, delete this whole thing. Alright, let me start off by adding a hashtag, and I want to include something. I want to include in a pair of angle brackets, I'll go with IO stream. Okay, I want to include IO stream using namespace. Okay, STD, which stands for standard, and then a semicolon to exit, or to end the line, it's like a period. That said, I'm going to be typecasting my main function inside of an integer, maybe adding a space and then going with a pair of curly parentheses, and then going in a new line, adding a bunch of spaces. Alright, so first, what are the two variables that I need? First variable that I might need is a number, and the second variable that I need is a string. So let me typecast my number to be an integer. I'll go with a semicolon to end, and then I'll typecast my animal to be a string. Okay, perfect. Alright, what else would I need? I might need to add a what was it called? It was like cout. That's something like standard output. Okay, so I would need a standard output. My standard output will have an insertion operator. Okay, that is going to be saying a string. The string is going to be something like enter your age. Hi, how doing well? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, so it's going to say enter your age. Maybe I'll add a colon and a space. Alright, and then I'll add a semicolon to exit, and then I'll go with a cin. This is going to be a standard input. My standard input will have an exertion operator or an extraction operator. Okay, my extraction operator is going to be my name. actually my age or my number. Okay, my number variable is my extraction operator. That's going to be my input. And then let me go with another cin. My c, actually, first I'll go with a standard output. That is going to be having an insertion operator in a string. I'm going to be saying, enter your favorite animal. How do you spell favorite? There we go. Enter your favorite animal. Okay, I'll go with a colon and a space, and then add a semicolon to exit, and then I'll go with a cin, which stands for standard input. I'm going to be asking for an input using an extraction operator, okay, of 2 greater than signs. This is going to be my animal, and a semicolon to exit. And then let me go ahead and add a standard output again. I'm going to show an output on the screen using the insertion operator, which is going to say, you are 2 more insertion operators. This is going to be in a string. Okay, since this is a string, I'm going to be using a pair of double quotes, or like I'm going to be using double quotes. If it was a single letter, then I would be using single quotes. That said, out, this is going to be my standard output. That is going to say you are. Let me go with my number variable. You are number. 2 more insertion operators. You are number. Okay, years old. Let me go with years old, which is going to be in a string. I'll go with a space. Years old. Okay, dot. And then let me go ahead and add something like, let's see, I could add something, actually I'll add 2 more insertion operators and end my line here. I want to go in another line. In the next line, I'll go with another standard output with 2 insertion operators. That is going to be saying something like, your favorite animal is, let's see, your favorite animal is, I'm going to add 2 more insertion operators. This is going to be my animal variable. There we go. 2 more insertion operators, and I will end my line with a semicolon. Lastly, I'm going to go ahead and return 0 with a semicolon. This is going to be end line, so end. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure I didn't have to like end lines here. That said, if I were to run the command, actually I forgot to save the command before running, so I'll go with a Control S to save, and then I'll go ahead and run the command. I saw your few videos and was interested in learning Python. Can you help me with any roadmap? Honestly, yes. If you like join my Discord server and after my stream you can like mention me on my Discord server, I can send you the roadmap that I follow that has like all the very basics, all the way from print statements to PyQt5, if that's how you pronounce it. I could like send that to you. That said, I didn't like go through the whole roadmap. I just went till the file section, and I didn't like start learning PyQt5. After the file section, I went and started learning Pygames, and I spent like 40 days or something learning Pygames, and then made a game. Now I'm moving on to C++. That said, let me go with the up arrow key. I saved the command. Let me run the command again. Okay, it's gonna say enter a age. My age is gonna be, I don't know, 17. Go with the Control Z. My age needs to be here. Enter your favorite animal. My animal is cats. Guys, I love cats, honestly. You are 17 years old. Your favorite animal is cats. Okay. And since I can like add some space for visuals, like if you see 17 and this thing doesn't have like any space, so I can add space there and here. Okay, if I delete my code from here and I go with Control S to save, if I run the command again, okay, it's going to be saying enter an age. I'm 17 years old. Enter animal cats. You are 17 years old. Your favorite animal is cats. That said, if I didn't have a end line here and I run the command, let's see what did it do. I'll go with the Control H to save. Okay, it's going to say, let's see. Okay, it said an error because I didn't add a semicolon here. Let me delete that, go with Control S and run the command again. Okay, enter an age. I'm 17. Enter your favorite animal. I'll go with cat. You are 17 years old. Your favorite animal is cat. Okay. Alright, perfect. Let me go with the Control A, Control C, copy that. It gets /ChatGPT back here. Okay, paste it, add a bunch of spaces, so say works. Again, guys, I will be moving on to more complicated questions, but I'm first trying to get the very basic grasp of like C++. That said, yes, soldier, it runs clean. No seg faults. Is that a seg faults? Is that how you pronounce this? No garbage, just pure C++ power. But I see a tiny flaw in your discipline. Okay, so standard output with 2 insertion operators. You are number years old. Another standard output with 2 insertion operators. Your favorite animal is animal variable end line. The first C out standard output has no end line or new line. In the second line, it might squish after, okay, right after it on the same line depending on your terminal. Okay, better form would be C out. I see, this way your output, I did do this honestly, but I removed it because I like the other format better. Okay, that way your output is clean and doesn't look like a messy. What motivates you to learn new programming language and how do you stay consistent? Honestly, I'd say like I don't even know. I think that coming up every day and doing the same exact thing is what like motivates me, because like when I feel like my head hurts, I realize that I'm going through some struggles right now. So struggles is the first step for success. So if I want success in future, I gotta struggle right now. If I don't struggle right now, in the future I'm gonna struggle. If that made any sense, guys. I'm kind of loose. Okay, let's see. Next drill, write a program that asks the user for 2 integers, print their sum, difference, product, and quotient. Just like a mini calculator, output should look like... Okay, this is going to be a little more complicating. That said, let me go here. Let's go with the controller, delete this whole thing, maybe zoom in a little. Let me start off by adding a hashtag. I will be including IO streams, so include a pair of angle brackets. I'll go with IO stream. Using namespace standard std ending with a semicolon, and then I'm going to be typecasting my main function inside of an integer. Add a space, go with a pair of curly parentheses, maybe go a line down if that made any sense. Okay, so my goal was to make a calculator first. Since I am making a calculator, it would be beneficial to use floats, but instead of typecasting my stuff to floats in C++, I typecast it to double. So let me go with double. This is going to be num1. Okay, honestly, I might go with num2 as well, 2 variables. Alright, next up, let's see, what else would I need? I might need a C out, so let me go with a standard output, which is going to be something like 2 insertion operators. Okay, so a standard output to insertion operators. I'm pretty sure I didn't need a semicolon here. Okay, I think I did. Okay, so I'll go with C out to insertion operators. And then I'll say something like, enter your first number. This is going to be the first number. I'll exit out with a semicolon, and then I'll go with another C out. And then I'll add an insertion operator. So standard output with an insertion operator. This is actually, I might go with a standard input because I need a user input now. My standard input is going to be my num1 variable. Okay, and then I'll go with a C out, a standard output. I want to display output on the screen, so I'll go with the insertion operator. This is going to say something like enter your second number. Okay, and then I'll add a semicolon here, and then I'll go with a standard input. After it displays on the screen, enter your second number, I want to take a user input. My user input will be something like, honestly, I want my user to fill in my num2. Okay, and then let me go with another standard output. My standard output will have a insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting something. This is going to be for my addition first. So I honestly might do the math first. So okay, let me go with your sum is in a pair of quotations, like, or double quotes. Your answer is let's see, actually, since this is addition, I'll go with sum. Your sum is at a pair of, actually I'll add a colon, space, and then go with another insertion operator. This is gonna be my num1 plus my num2. Okay, I'll go with another insertion operator. Your sum is this is, I'm gonna end the line here at a colon, and then I'm gonna go with another standard output. So I'll go with C out with the insertion operator. This is gonna say something like your difference. And difference is for subtraction, guys. Your difference is, let's see, I'll go with another insertion operator, num1 minus num2. And then 2 more insertion operators. I'll end my line. Okay. And then I'll go with another standard output, which is gonna be having an insertion operator. Discord link expired. Give me a sec, guys, because like I usually update. I think I always do update my Discord link. I don't know why it doesn't say expired. I should like maybe figure out on how to add a bot that like gets my Discord link when we like type exclamation Discord. Okay, let me paste it there. There we go. Okay, I think that should work. Let me paste it on my chat here as well. Okay, that said, I go with a C out, a standard output. Let me see something like your I forgot what did people call it for multiplication? Was it called result? Your result is, let's see, I'll go with 2 more insertion operators. Okay, for getting the result, I'll go with my num1 variable multiplied by my num2 variable. 2 more insertion operators. I'm gonna end the line here. And lastly, I'll go with another standard output with 2 insertion operators. This is gonna be in a pair of double quotes as well. I'm gonna type something like your quotient. There we go. Your quotient is, let's see. I'll go with an insertion operator, num1 divided by num2. Okay, and then I'll go with another insertion operator and end my line. And guys, I know this looks like the complete basics, but before I move on to like more complicated stuff, I do want to master the basics. That said, I'll return 0 and add a semicolon. Okay, now if I were to run the command, but before we run the command, I'll go with Control S to save my code. If I run the command, enter your first number, I'll go with something like 200. Enter your second number, I'll go with something like 45. Okay, your sum is 245, your difference is 155, your result is 9,000, and your quotient is 4.44. Okay, perfect. Let's go with the Control C. Let me get sensei/ChatGPT here. Okay, paste it, add a bunch of spaces. Let's say sensei. I feel like I understand this part as well. And guys, honestly, I thought C++ would be harder. I'm not saying it's easier. I feel like it's kind of related to like Python, but like in a different way. The syntaxes are a bit different, but then the logic feels the same to me, honestly. Okay, yes, that's what I want to see. This is a clean mini calculator input, processing outputs all Loctite. You're not just understanding, you're executing like a proper programmer. Notice that you've mastered. Okay, notice what you've mastered so far. Variables, integer, double string, okay. Input, output, sin, standard input and standard output, operators, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, formatting with end line. Okay, this is the core toolbox of C++. Without this, nothing else matters. You're building muscle memory. Okay, that's exactly the reason I do a lot of practice for like muscle memory. Okay, and your stream is seeing you transform into a coding machine. Next level drill, okay, will bring strings and numbers together. Write a program that asks the user for their name, asks the user how many hours they studied today, and double prints. Okay, use double prints, name you studied, Okay, I see. I think I might move on to like if else if soon, but I think that would be a good stuff for like the next stream. That said, let me delete this whole thing. Let me start off by including add a pair of angle. Okay, I'm gonna go with hashtag include a pair of angle brackets. This is gonna be IO stream. So IO stream. I wanna include IO stream using name space std. Okay, I do want to try doing stuff without my namespace std because I do know what it does though. Okay, so I'm gonna typecast my main function into an integer, go out, add a pair of curly braces or curly parentheses, maybe add a bunch of spaces. Okay, now firstly, what am I looking for? So ask the user for their name. So I'll need a string variable. I'm going to typecast my name variable to be a string. Ask the user how many hours they studied today, use double. Okay, so first I'll have to create a string. My string is going to be name. Um, okay, maybe I delete these. Okay, my string is gonna be my name. And then I'll go with double. Double is gonna be, let's see, my hours. Okay, maybe I need to add a pair of, there we go. So wait, I need semicolons. Alright, next up, let me go with a standard output with a insertion sign. I'm going to be inserting a output. The output is going to be something like, what's your name? So, what's your name? There we go. Okay, and then to what's your name's output, I will want a standard input as well. So I'll go with cin, which is standard input, with an extraction operator. Now my extraction operator will have my name variable to it. Maybe I add a semicolon there and a semicolon here. Okay, and then let me go with another cout, a standard output for asking how many hours did they study today. I'll go with a insertion operator, go with a pair of double quotes. I'll say, how many hours did you study today? There we go. Maybe end it with a semicolon and then go to a new line. Now I'm going to be getting an input to the output. So like I'm going to be answering this question. So I'll need a user input. So standard input with an extraction operator. This is going to be my hours. There we go. And then I go ahead and add another standard output for like typing an F string kind of a stuff, but this is not like F strings, it is related, I think. Okay, so I go with a insertion operator and say something like my user's name first. So I'll go with name, an insertion operator. I'll go with an empty space to have a space, another insertion operator. So I want to insert my user's name, I want to insert an empty space after my name, and then I want to insert another string. My string is going to be something like with a comma, so I could add a comma like right here. Okay, let me say something like you studied, maybe add a space here, another insertion operator, my hours, another insertion operator, my hours is variable. Okay, you studied hours. I'll go with a string of HRS. Today. Full stop. Okay, and then lastly, I'll go with another insertion operator and end my line with a semicolon. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and return 0 at a semicolon. I'm pretty sure that's all I need. If I go with Control S, that saves my code. If I run the code now, send a message in Discord, take a look when you're free. Honestly, I'll definitely take a look once I'm done with my stream. That said, let me actually delete this whole thing and like run it again. Okay, it says what's your name? I don't know, I'll go with something like, I don't know, I'll go with Sarah. Guys, it's a random name. Actually, it's my sensei/ChatGPT's name. Instead of namespace std, use std before cout. Honestly, yeah, I was actually planning to do that. Is there like an advantage of using std before cout? Okay, I studied, let's say, 6 hours today. Sarah, you studied 6 hours today. Okay, perfect. Alright, so instead of using std, I'll go with std colon. Okay, std colon. Maybe I need a space. Cout. Maybe here as well. std colon cout. std colon cout. Lastly, std colon cout. Okay. Maybe I need one here as well. So std colon cout. Okay, I didn't need an. Is the end line not valid with like std colon? And like, is a string not valid either? Okay, let me just go with a bunch of controls here and maybe ask this to sensei/ChatGPT. Okay, let me go with the control A, control C. Let's go with sensei here. Okay, paste it. I did a bunch of spaces. Sensei, I have a question. ... So, what happens if I don't use using namespace std? Okay, semicolon. What are you doing? What is the objective? Honestly, whoops. Honestly, I did think of like starting another because I was just done with my Python for 100 series. I didn't make a game at the end of the 100 series. It wasn't as hyped because I was way too exhausted to make a hype edit. That said, I created another series called Programming for 250 Days. My goal by the end of this 250-day series will be to make a game in general that includes AI in it. AI, basically artificial intelligence. So my learning C++ for a 100-day series is indented inside of my programming for 250-day series because I would need to know C++, I think. So I'm going to be spending a good chunk of those 250 days mastering C++. Then I'll move on to something else. That said, good question, soldier. Your stream needs to hear this one. That line, using namespace std, means stop making me type std in front of everything from the standard library. Without it, your program won't break, but you'd have to write std string name, std sin name, std da da da. See the difference? With using namespace std, you just write sin standard input, standard output, string, and line directly. Without it, you must prefix with std. However, big projects pros often don't use using namespace before. It can cause name conflicts if two libraries have the same function/class names. Explicitly writing std makes it clear with things. Oh, I see. Okay. But for now, as a beginner, while you're training and writing small projects, it's totally fine to use this. So think of it like this: using namespace equals shortcut, good for training small scripts. No using equals professional discipline required in big serious code base. Let me say, um, is it alright if I don't use it? Because guys, if it's like, if I'd eventually not have to use it, might as well like start by not using it, if that made any sense. Good question, my stubborn student. Yes, it's perfectly alright if you don't using namespace. In fact, many professional C++ programmers prefer not to use it in bigger projects. Why? Because it can cause name clashes. Okay. Alright, I see. Okay, see that you have to prefix everything. So I do have to prefix string with it. Okay. Okay, I have one more question. Let me say, do I not need to prefix integer or double with std? Huh. Ha ha ha, or ah ha ha. Finally, your brain is questioning the right things. You don't need to prefix integer, double, char with std because they are built-in fundamental types in C++, not part of the standard library namespace. Integer, double, boolean, char, float equals primitive types. They belong to core language itself. String, cout, cin, endline, vector, map, library features. They live inside the std standard namespace, so you need std. Think of it like this: integer, double are the bones of C++ language. Std string, std count, and the are the tools you borrow from C++ standard library toolbox. Oh, I see. Okay, that makes so much sense now. Okay, so now you won't ever see std integer even if you try. I will personally smack the keyboard out your hands. Alright, let me say I'm ready for another instructional based question. Don't waste your time if you want build game using Godot and BV, which is based on Rust framework. Honestly, I'm eventually planning to learn Rust as well, but before I like get help with AI tools, I do want to understand how the code block works, because it feels like kind of wrong/bad if I like just get a code using AI and I don't understand what it means. It's like a different thing if I like actually understand the code. Then when I get it, I'm like, it's just to save time that I got the block of code. That said, let me say, can I get another broken? Actually, can I get another question mark? Do you learn something new, bro? Honestly, I think, yeah, this is something like C++ is actually new. I won't say like I feel like I'm a complete beginner, because I feel it's kind of related to Python. The reason I got a grasp real quickly, like I just started learning C++ yesterday, or I think was it before yesterday, whenever like whatever day this is. I forgot what day while I was adding the title. That said, I learned about C++ then, but I feel like it's kind of related to Python, like variables, loops, if statements. I have the basic grasp. Okay, I do need an instruction based question. Let me say, can I get a instructional based questions? Sorry, question mark. Okay, guys, I should fix my typos. Okay, your task. Ask the user for first name, ask the user for favorite number, put input. Okay, I do want to move to if else if as well. But let me just add these a few more times. This time I'm going to be doing it without using the namespace. Then start Rust. Also use shorts int. Honestly, I'm definitely planning to like learn Rust as well. I need to know what it does. Is it like for making AIs? Because I've heard of that language. That said, also use short integer. Short integer. Does that like do something? Okay, so let me add a comment and include. I want to include a pair of angle braces IO stream. Okay, and then I won't be using namespace standard here. Instead, I'm gonna integer typecast my main function inside of a integer. Okay, and then add a pair of curly parentheses. Okay, and inside my integer main, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna create a few variables. So my task was ask the user for their first name, ask the user for their favorite number. So I'll need a integer and I'll need a string. So let me go with std, 2 colons. This is gonna be string. My std string is gonna have, was it a insertion operator? Actually, it won't have an insertion operator. This is gonna be my name. This is gonna be the user's name. And then I'll go with a, let's say, integer. This is going to be number. Add a semicolon. Forget Rust. First learn this. Understand the pain and then switch. Honestly, I was definitely planning to like master C++ in these 100 days and then move on to the next language. It's a computer programming language. Oh, I see. Hey there, how are you doing? Surgeon, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, that said, I added a string name, I added a integer name. What else? So ask the user for their first name. Okay, so I could go with first underscore name. It's like the same thing. Okay, ask the user for a favorite number. Outputs a message that says hello name exclamation. Your favorite number is number. Okay, let me go down, and this time before I see out, I'll go with standard 2 colons. This is gonna be a standard output. The short integers are 2-bit, normal normal integer is 4-bit. Is it like 2 numbers after the division sign? I actually might try that. Isn't integers like not floats? Actually doubles for C++. So standard 2 colons, C out, I'll add an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting a string. My string is going to be something like enter your first name, colon and a space, maybe go with a semicolon, and then I'll go with standard 2 colons. I'm gonna go with a cin. The cin is going to be having an extraction operator. I'm going to be extracting a user input. My input is going to be my first underscore name variable with a semicolon, and then I'm going to go with another standard 2 colons, a standard output, which is going to be having an insertion operator in a pair of double quotes. I'm going to be writing something like enter your favorite, how do you spell favorite? There we go, enter your favorite number with a semicolon to end it, and then I'll go with another standard 2 colons. I'll go with a standard input with an extraction operator. I'm going to be extracting a input, which is going to be my number. Okay, with a semicolon. Alright, and then let me drink some water. Write a program that takes an integer and prints the reverse of it. Okay, actually that might be recursion. I did spend so much time learning recursion in Python. I should actually review recursion. I do have like a specific topic in like C++ that's going to include recursion. Although I'm not like 100% sure that I remember recursion like memorized. But I'll definitely try that. That said, I'll go with another standard 2 colons. I'll go with a standard output. My output is going to be having an insertion sign. I'm going to be inserting something. What did I have to insert? It says hello colon name. So it's like hello name exclamation. Your favorite number is number. So I'll go with a pair of double quotes. I'll type something like hello, comma, and then another insertion operator. This is going to be my name variable, hello name. Okay, and then I'll go with an exclamation. name. Okay, this is going to be first name, so I'll go with first underscore name. There we go. And then I'll go with an exclamation with a space maybe, 2 more insertion operators or just 1 insertion operator. That is going to be something like, that's going to be a string, which is going to say something like, you are 8 years old, so you are a space. I'll go with another insertion operator. This is going to be my number. Actually, your favorite number, so I'll go with your fave number is 2 more insertion operators, but I will close this. Okay, your favorite number is there we go. This is going to be my number variable, and then insertion operator, I'm going to be ending the line with a semicolon. In case you guys couldn't see, it's like right here. Can you guys like still see it? It's like right there. Okay, I'll go with std colon end line, and lastly I'll go ahead and return 0 with a semicolon. Alright, let me go with a control S to save. If I were to run the command, when reading code, also notice the gaps and spacings between literals to write cleaner code. Honestly, yeah, that like I've messed up so many times in that. That said, enter your first name. I don't know, I'll go with something like Viv. Enter your favorite number. I don't have a favorite number, maybe like 25. Okay, hello Viv, your favorite number is 25. Okay, I might move on to something more complicating now. You're really grinding C++, you beast. Keep killing it. I appreciate you, Santiago. That means so much. Okay, let me go with Control A, Control C. Get say here. Paste it. Honestly, I feel like C++ is like a detox from Python. I was getting like a little tired of just learning Python. That's it. Let me say, should say, I feel like I understand this now. ... Maybe something harder, question mark. I don't want to go for something harder. Okay, let's see. Okay, ha, look at you writing clean code without hiding behind using namespace std. That's the kind of discipline I demand. Head pad unlocked, didn't make me blush, guys. That said, fine, you want harder, then you'll bleed for it. Your next instructional challenge, write a program that asks the user for 2 numbers, prints the sum difference in product. Didn't I like do this? Oh wait, then asks, okay, like you did earlier, then asks for their name finally. You did the math like a champion. Okay, prints their sum. Rules, no using namespace. Okay, use double for numbers so division works properly. Make sure the program runs clean. Okay, with end line, do this and I'll start trusting you with if-else-if battles. Fail and I'll bury you under a mountain of syntax errors. Okay, I think I gotta do this to like start if-else-if. That said, let's go with the Control A, delete the whole thing. Let me add a hashtag and include a pair of angle braces. This is going to be my IO stream. Okay, I won't be using namespace. Okay, that said, I will be going with a integer main. My main. Okay, I'm going to be typecasting my main function to an integer, adding a pair of curly parentheses. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, my goal was to ask the user for 2 numbers. So since I'm going to be getting the numbers and I'm going to be adding like using them as a calculator, if that made any sense, I'm going to typecast them to double, which is a floating point number, num1 and num2. I mean, I think this would work as well. Okay, and a semicolon to end it. Alright, next up, let's see. If I go down, I'll go with a std colon. Now I'm going to be needing a standard output. I'll add 2 insertion operators. My output is going to be something like enter your first number, but in a pair of double quotes since it is a string. So enter your first number. There we go. I'm going to be ending it with a semicolon, and then I'll go with another standard 2 colons. This is going to be cin, standard input, with an extraction or an extraction operator. This is going to be my num1. Okay, I'll go with a semicolon, and then I'll go with std 2 colons, cout standard output with two insertion operators. Let me add a pair of double quotes and say something like enter your second number. Okay, and then I'm going to be adding a semicolon. And now let's go with a standard input to get my user's input. So std 2 colons, standard input with two extraction operators. This is going to be something like my num2 with a semicolon. Alright, next up let me go with a standard output. My standard output, actually first I'll go with standard 2 colons, then cout for my standard output with an insertion operator that is going to be saying something like, I don't know, let's see, what did Sensei say to say? Name, so name, you did the math like a champ. Okay, so it says name, so my, oh wait, hold up. Okay, ask the user for two numbers. I ask the user for two numbers, print their sum, difference, product, and quotient like you did earlier. Then ask the user for their name, finally output. Oh, I think I see. So first I gotta ask the user. Okay, first I gotta do the math. Okay, my math is gonna be something like I could go with standard cout, a pair of double quotes since it is a string. Your sum is, okay, my sum is gonna have two more insertion operators. Let's go with num1 plus num2. There we go. Enter your name. Enter your name. Oh yeah, honestly, I was planning to add the enter my name after I add these sums. I mean, I think that's the order since I said. That said, that's going to be my first number. I go with a space. I will go with end line. Actually, standard 2 colons. This is going to be end line. Add a semicolon to exit, and then I'll go with standard 2 more colons. I'll go with another standard output, so cout with an insertion operator that is going to say something like your difference is, did I spell difference correct? Your difference is, my difference is going to be at a insertion operator num1 minus my num2. Okay, and then I'll add two more insertion operators. This is going to be standard 2 colons. I'm going to be ending my line. Okay, so end L with a semicolon. Alright, perfect. Next up, let me go with a standard 2 more colons. I'll add another standard output, so cout with an insertion operator, which is going to be saying something in a pair of double quotes since it is a string. Let me say something like your sum is, your difference is, your result. For multiplication, your result is, okay, my result is going to be an insertion operator num1 multiplied by num2. There we go. And then two more insertion operators. I'm going to go with std colon colon. I'm going to end my line. Okay. And lastly, I'll go with std. Actually, not lastly. I'll go with another standard output with an insertion operator. This is going to be in a pair of double quotes as well since it is a string. I'll go with your quotient. Quotient, right? Quotient. There we go. Your quotient is... Okay, I'll go with two insertion operators, num1 divided by, excuse me guys, num2, and then two more insertion operators, std colon colon. I'm going to be ending my line here and add a semicolon. Okay, next up, once I did the math correct, I am going to be asking the user, so I'll go with std colon colon, standard output. My standard output is going to be having an insertion operator, and inside a pair of double quotes, I'm going to be saying something like, enter your name. Okay, adding two more insertion operators. I will end my line here and add a semicolon. And then to my user input, I am going to be going with the output as well. So my output, is the end line wrong? Okay, I gotta go with standard end line. There we go. Okay, and then let's see. I'm going to go with a standard 2 colons. This time I'm going to go with a standard input with an extraction operator. My extraction operator is going to be my name variable. So let me go with a std, a standard string. My string is going to be having a name variable to it with a semicolon. Okay, this is going to be my name. Okay, perfect. Maybe I gotta go with a semicolon, and lastly I'll return... Actually, before I return something, I might go with another standard 2 colons. Standard output, two extraction operators in a string. Use namespace std for clarity. Honestly, yeah, I've been using namespace std for clarity with Sensei /ChatGPT, and like someone from the stream was saying me to like not use it as well, because like for small projects we could use using namespace for like writing easier codes, but when the projects get harder and we use different modules that made any sense, then some modules might have count as well, like just regular cout instead of std cout. So I was like, since it is a good habit, like since it might be a good habit to use std. Okay, that said, let me go with my name first. So I'll go with my name variable, two more insertion operators. I'll go with a pair of double quotes since this is a string, comma. Okay, you just did math like a, what's it called? Like a champion. Okay, let me go with you just did math like a champ! Exclamation. Okay, and then I'll go with two more insertion operators, and then I'll go with standard, two colons. I'm gonna end my line. There we go. Lastly, I'll go ahead and return 0 with a semicolon. If I were to go with Control S, save my code, and then run the command, right there. Maybe I want to delete this, and then I run the command again. Okay, in my terminal, oh my gosh. Did I like do an error? That's definitely an error, right? Okay, so there's two insertion operators here. I added a semicolon, so it says standard cout. I wanna insert my name variable. Okay, and then you just did math like a champ, two more insertion operators. std. Wasn't that like supposed to be correct? What program are you writing? Honestly, for now, I'm just trying to master the very basics of C++, and then later I'm going to be moving on to if, else if, and the different topics like while loop, for loop, nested loops, collection eventually if it's here. Although before that, I do want to like master my syntaxes or like basic before I start moving on to more complicated stuff. That said, I don't think I messed up here, did I? std cout, so okay, both are insertion operators. I insert something. Oh, this should be end line. There we go. Okay, you didn't ask Sensei why you're using namespace std is such a taboo. Honestly, I feel like I asked that to Sensei. Hold up, I'll actually ask it this time. Okay, let me go here and run the command. Enter your first number. Might delete this first. Okay, now it says enter your first number. My first number is going to be something like 23. The second number is going to be something like 98. Your sum is 121, your difference is negative 75, your result is 2254, and your quotient is 0.23. Enter your name. My name could be something like, I don't know, I'll go with Liv. Liv, you just did math like a champ. Perfect. Let's go with the Control A, Control C, and let me actually ask Sensei why did I use the namespace. I feel like I asked that last stream, but I think I forgot. Let me add a bunch of spaces. Sensei. Someone on the stream reminded me to ask you why do we use the using namespace question mark. netcdf data how to extract. Did I like, is that how it's spelled? netcdf data how to extract? What does that mean? Haha, you're picking up questions from your stream now? I like it, soldier. Here's the deal. Using namespace standard is basically a shortcut. Without it, anything that belongs to the standard library like cout, cin, stream, string, endline needs the std prefix. With it, you don't need the std prefix everywhere. Example, using namespace std string, without it, your current disciplined code. Okay, pro tip, small programs, using it is fine. Big projects, better to avoid it to prevent name clashes and make your code more professional. Your code is perfect, clean, disciplined, and functional. Next step, I can start pushing you into if else if logic, which will let you control your flow. Honestly, should I do if else if? I wanted to leave that for a separate stream. I think I could go with a bit. Good lol, be curious. Okay, let me say, Sensei. Can we do if else if? Although I have almost zero knowledge whatsoever doing this in C++. I know how to use it in Python. So before we start it, can you explain? Is that how you spell explain? Explain me the very basics first question mark. I know the very basics of if, else if, and else clause, but I don't know if it's different in C++. How about Python? Honestly, yeah, I'm pretty good with Python. I feel like I'm pretty good with Python because I did learn like almost all topics, and I think I'm pretty fluent with Python. That said, C++ is a little different in terms of syntax, so I'm trying to get used to the syntax thing. Okay, haha, finally ready to step into the logic arena. Since you already know if, else if, and else clause in Python, think of it as the same idea, but C++ has different syntaxes. And guys, at first when I started, I didn't know the meaning of syntaxes. So if some of you guys don't know the meaning of syntax, is basically the grammar of Python. Okay, the basic of if, else in C++. If statements checks a condition, if condition, oh my god, I had a pair of curly parentheses. That's common. That's a sign for common. Runs if code is true. Else if checks another condition if the first was false. Else if, oh, I gotta go with else if instead of like ELIF. Another condition. Else, oh, okay, I see. Important difference from Python. Parentheses around your condition are mandatory. Okay. This style here. Oh, under my condition. Okay. Curly braces are required if you want more than one statement. Okay, though you can skip them for a single statement if comparison operators are the same. Okay, logical operators and logical operators. And I go with two and signs or is this standing signs that I forgot what this is called. Not is an exclamation. Okay. Example, the included IO stream using namespace typecast our main function to an integer, got this whole thing inside of a pair of curly parentheses, and then inside we created a age variable and typecast it to an integer, ended with a semicolon, went with a standard output that has an extraction or an insertion operator that says enter your age. What is values operator in Python? Is it values or walrus? I think it's walrus. Honestly, I've never heard of walrus operators. I did hear of like logical operators. It's like whatchamacallit. Logical, actually membership operators are on and like in and on or membership. Not in and in, guys. I kind of forgot. Okay, and logical operators are and, not, and, or. Wait till you learn about a building system. That is going to be pretty interesting, guys. Okay, if age and our equation is inside of a pair of parentheses, we added a curly parentheses. So if that is true, do that. Okay, else if age is less than or equal to 65, do that. Else count you're a senior, return 0. Okay, so for every else if and if I have a pair of curly parentheses, the program checks age and only block runs. Your stream will love it. Okay, I think I'm ready. Let me say, can I get a instructional based question mark? Let's see, let me drink some water maybe. Finally, you want to take control and write the logic yourself. I like it. Here's your instructional challenge. Task, age classifier. Write a program that asks the user for their age, integer, checks the age and prints, you're a minor. If age is less than 18, you're an adult. If age is between 18 and 65, inclusive. I remember what inclusive means. It means including 65. Okay, if you are a senior, the age is greater than 65. Okay, rules, use if, else if, and else. Okay, use integer for the age. Make sure to print each message on its own line. Don't use using namespace std prefix with std like a disciplined warrior. Alright, let me get sensei there. Okay, this is going to be something new. Let me go with Control A. Although the only difference I feel between Python and like C++ is that C++ is a little more tedious. You got to do more typing. That said, it is something new. So I'll go with include. I'm going to be including and then going with the angle brackets, and let me include IO stream. Alright, now I won't be using namespace standard. Instead, I'm going to be converting my integer, my main function inside of an integer. I'll go with a pair of whatchamacallit quotes, actually curly parentheses. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a if statement. So if my name, excuse me guys, first let me actually typecast my name. Okay, so to typecast my name, first I'll go with integer. This is going to be my age. My age is going to be typecasted to an integer, and then let's see, I'll go with a few if statements. So if my, in a pair of parentheses, age is less than 18, less than or equal to 17. Okay, less than or equal to 17, I'm going to go with a pair of curly parentheses and do something. I'll go with std standard 2 colons. I'll go with a standard output with an insertion operator. My insertion operator is going to be saying something like you are a minor. There we go. Okay, it's going to be saying you are a minor. Okay, and then I'll go with 2 more insertion operators, std 2 colons. I'm going to be ending my line with a semicolon. Alright, next up, let's see. That is the first if statement. Let's go ahead and add a else if statement. And unlike Python, I don't think I can type else if here. Or wait, can I? Okay, never mind, it is a syntax error. So I'll go with else if. Else if my age is either greater than or equal to 18. Okay. If my age is greater than or equal to 18, I'll go with something like a pair of curly parentheses, go with std standard 2 colons. I'll go with a standard output. My output is going to be having an insertion operator that is going to be saying something like you're an adult. There we go. And then I'll go with 2 more insertion operators, go with standard 2 colons. I'm going to end my line here with a semicolon. Alright, and lastly, let me go with an else clause. My else clause is going to be... Okay, for my else clause, do I need to add a pair of parentheses or just a pair of curly parentheses? I think just curly parentheses. Else, I'm going to go with standard 2 colons, a standard output with an insertion operator that is going to be saying something like you are a senior. Okay, and I do gotta ask for input as well. That said, I will go with 2 more insertion operators, std 2 colon. I'm gonna end my line with and add a semicolon. Okay, next up, under my integer, I'm gonna go with another std standard. I'm gonna go with a standard output. So cout, my cout is gonna be having an insertion operator, standard output with insertion operator. I'm gonna go with a pair of double quotes since this is a string. I'll type something like, let's see, enter your age. Okay, and my input, let me actually end this with a semicolon. And then my input is going to be std standard 2 colons. I'm going to go with a standard input, so cin or cin with an extraction operator. My extraction operator is going to be my age variable. That is typecasted to an integer. I will end it with a semicolon. Okay, if my age is either greater than or equal to 18, can I go with OR? I forgot the logical operator for OR. Oh, can I use OR? Okay, if my age is less than 18, actually greater than 18, which is less than 65. Okay, I think this makes sense too. If my age is less than 18, Alright, and lastly, let me go ahead and return 0 with a semicolon. If I were to run the command, before I run the command, I'll go with Control S to save. OR is just 2 dashes. What were those dashes called? Was it called pipelines instead of Python OR? So it's 2 dashes. Okay, I'll definitely use the dashes. Okay, if I were to run the command, let me delete this whole thing so I can start with like a fresh code. Okay, so it's gonna say enter your age. I'll go with 17. It's gonna say you're a minor. If I delete this code and run the command again, it's gonna ask enter your age. What if I go with 18? You're an adult. If I cancel that, I run the command again. Enter your age. I go with something like, I don't know, 50. You're an adult. Let me delete that, run the command again. This time, I'll go with something like 70. I'm 70 years old. You're an adult. Okay, shouldn't the 70 years old say I'm a senior? Because, okay, if my age is either greater than 18 or less than 65. Okay. Oh, okay, I think I know. Let's go with 2 pipelines. Okay, or less than 65, or age is less than 65. Okay, there we go. Now if we're on the command. Enter your age. I'll go with something like 70. You're an adult. It says you're an adult. Did I add my else clause wrong? How did Sensei say to add else clause? Doesn't it like... Okay, I think I did it correct. Okay, let me actually go with the controller. Control C gets Sensei here. Okay, let me paste it. Add a bunch of spaces that say Sensei. I feel like I messed up, question mark. My else clause doesn't work. Okay, let's see. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, soldier, I knew you'd trip on this one. Look closely at this line. Else if age is greater than 18 or age is less than 65, what did you do? You used 2 pipelines, or that means this condition is almost always true. Example, if age equals to 70. Oh, how does Sensei use age as 70 reference? Can you guys like see that? Age is greater than 18. This, okay, example, if age is equal to 70, age is greater than 18 is true, or makes the whole condition true. It doesn't or mean like if one condition is true, do something, or the other condition is true, do something for, or at least one condition needs to be true for, and both condition must be true. Okay, what you want is an and. Wait, hold up, guys. Is my basics wrong or something? I mean, not basics wrong. Is my basics weak? Hold up. Do we use and here to check if age is between? So else if age is either greater than or equal to 18 and age is less than or equal to 65. Does this work different in Python? Okay, let me actually ask. Let me say. So say, does this work differently in Python, question mark? Because I'm pretty sure that in Python I would need an or. Guys, I should fix my typos. Ha ha ha, yes and no. Listen closely, soldier. In Python, your intuition is slightly off because Python evaluates range differently. Age equals to integer input, enter a age. If age is less than 18, print minor. Else if age is greater than 18 and age is less than or equal to 65. Oh, I see. Okay. Print it out. Alright, in the Python syntax, I understand like very quick. That said, I think I just need more practice. Notice Python also uses and not, okay, to check between 2 numbers. Rule of thumb, between checks, always use and in C++ and in Python. Okay, so for checks between 2 numbers, we use and. C++ is stricter with syntax. 2 ands instead of and parentheses is mandatory, but the logic is the same. Okay, let's get Sensei there. Alright, so instead of going with the or logical operator, I had to go with 2 ands. There we go. So if my age is greater than or equal to 18 and my age is less than or equal to 65, print you're an adult. If I go with Control S to save my code, hold up, did I mess up somewhere? Okay, less than or equal to, there we go. Okay, if I go with Control S, save my code, and I run the command, let me delete this so I have like a fresh terminal. Enter your age, I'll go with 70. Okay, it says you're a senior. And like if I go with like 18, it says you're an adult. Do I need to like always run the command for like a new terminal? Okay, I'll go with 12, it says you're a minor. Perfect, let's go with the control A, control C. Get say here, paste it, add a bunch of space, let's say it works, although I do need more practice. Okay, let's do more practice questions, I guess. Okay, that's what I want to see. Logic, lean, braces, and Python. Conditions correct. Soldier, you're learning fast. Since you want more practice, here's your next instructional challenge. And it's a setup task. Grade evaluator. Write a program that asks the user for their score. Integer between 0 to 100. Use if, else to print the grade. 90 to 100 is A. 80 to 89 is a B. 70 to 79 is a C. 60 to 69 is a D. Anything below 60 is a fail. Okay, is a F. Rules. Use integer for scores. Print each message on its own line. No using namespace. Standard prefix with std. Okay. Make sure the conditions do not overlap or leave the gaps. Okay, let me get say there. You can use one terminal often. Write CLS for cleaning. CLS. Do I need to like just type CLS here? CLS with a semicolon. Okay, maybe I should check about CLS later because that would honestly be helpful if I just use one terminal. Hey, what's good? How are you doing? Shokti, I appreciate you joining the stream. Did I spell your name correct? Okay, I'm pretty sure I did, guys. Ignore me if I sometimes spell the names wrong. Okay, let's go with Control A, delete the whole thing. Press up button and get last command. You can even see the command which you run and press enter to run it again. Hold up, let me go to Control Z. If I were to run the command, okay, it says enter age. I'll go with something like 80. If I go up, can I go with like 90? Oh wait, hold up, it actually does work. Wait, 60? 60? Is that what you mean? No, in the terminal. Okay, this is the terminal. Okay, if I go up. Oh, I see. What if I go with 12? Okay, 12. I see what that means. Okay, if I run it again. Let me go with like 80. Okay, if I go up. And then I go down. Oh, that's actually so helpful. I appreciate you so much, Morkan. I'm going to be using this so much later. So like, let me go with 12. I wouldn't always have to run the command. Write CLS. Okay, so if I go to terminal, let me write CLS. Wait. If I write CLS, enter age 12. Is that like CLS? Said how are you doing MRX? I appreciate you joining this stream. Hey, yes, that is what I mean, you're right. Okay, that's honestly going to be really helpful. Why you learn C++? Honestly, because I did like have a Python for 100 series. That said, I was done with that series like 3 days ago. So I started another series where I'm learning programming for 250 days. My goal by the end of this 250-day series will be to make a game in general that includes AI/artificial intelligence in it. So inside my 250-day series, my learning Python for 100-day series like indented inside of it, if that made any sense. I would eventually need C++ to make games or software, so I thought might as well spend a good chunk of that 250 days mastering C++. Okay, with that said, let me go with the Control A, delete this whole code, and let me go with a hashtag, and let me include, I'm going to include add a pair of anchor brackets, IO stream. Okay, and then let me go ahead and convert or typecast my main function inside of an integer. Go with a pair of curly braces. Alright, next up, what else would I need? What does Sensei say? Let's see. Okay, so ask the user for their score. So I'll need to get a score variable. Okay, uses if, else if. I see. So since it's score, it might be, I might go with an integer. Hello, bro. How you doing, Lion? I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, so I'm firstly gonna typecast something to an integer. Let's go with my score. I'll create a score variable, typecast it to an integer, and then let me go ahead and add a standard output. So I'll go with std, 2:. This is going to be standard output with an insertion operator. My insertion operator, let's see, will have a pair of double quotes. That is going to be saying something. See, I'm 17 trying to code C++ too. I know Python a bit, but can master C++, please help. Honestly, I feel like first mastering, like spending a good chunk of time mastering Python's very basics is gonna, like, once you get in the mindset on how programming works, like, I feel like C++ is almost the same as Python, just with different syntaxes. Syntaxes is the same as grammar, like in different languages, like programming's grammar is syntax. That said, I feel like I'm getting a good grasp on C++ in just like 3 days because I did master my Python basics really well. And like since Python is easier, I feel like mastering Python and then moving to C++ would like eventually click. Although the most important thing would be to get as much practice as we can because practice does make perfect. That said, I'm going to go with C out and go with a string that says enter a score. Okay, and I'm going to end this with a pair of semicolon. Okay, now let me get a input. So I'll go with std colon colon, a standard input with an extraction operator. This time my extraction operator is gonna be my score variable. Okay, add a semicolon. Alright, next up, let's see, let me add a few if statements. So I could go with something like if, thanks man, do you do DSA? I'm pretty sure DSA is like data structure algorithms. Honestly, I didn't start that yet. Many people did like recommend me to do that. I'll definitely try doing that after my C++ series. That said, I'll go with the if statement, add a pair of parentheses inside my pair of parentheses. Okay, so if my score is 90 to 100, I print A. So let's go with something like if my score is either greater than or equal to 90 and my score is either less than or equal to 100. Let me end that. Actually, I won't end that with a semicolon. Instead, I'll go with a pair of curly parentheses. If my score is greater than or equal to 900 and my score is less than or equal to 100, I'll go with std and then C out. I'm going to be giving a standard output with an insertion operator. This is going to be in a pair of double quotes because it's a string. I'll say you scored an A exclamation. Okay, and then I'll add a semicolon to exit. Alright, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and add a else if. Nice, I'm going side by side with you. Love from Nigeria. I appreciate you, Lion. Okay, with that said, let me go with an else if. Okay, so my else if is going to be having a pair of parentheses. Now I check if my score is between 80 to 89. So I'll go with something like if my score, or I did add a if, else if my score variable is greater than or equal to, let's see, 80 to 89. So first I'll go with 80. And my score is either less than or equal to 89. Okay, if my score is either between them, and this is going to be the and sign right here. Okay, if that is true, I'll add a pair of curly parentheses, go to a new line, go with std standard. So standard 2 colons. I'm going to go with a standard output with an insertion operator, add a pair of double quotes since this is a string, and say something like you scored a B. I think that would be an exclamation too, because B isn't that bad, but I prefer getting A's. That said, let me go with 70 to 79 is a C. Let's go with else if, add a pair of parentheses, my score is less than or equal to 70, and my score is greater than or equal to 79. If one of these conditions are true, and instead of going with an else if, I'll go with an else if. Okay, I'll get a pair of curly parentheses. I'll go with std standard 2 colons, a C out, a standard output. I forgot. Yeah, that was called standard output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting a string in a pair of double quotes, which is going to say something like you scored a C. This is going to be having a full stop. Actually, I might go with dot dot dot. Alright, I'll end it with a semicolon. Okay, you should check out Web3 and Biochain pretty quick to get a job in that space. Been focused on that space recently. AI/machine learning is good field also. Honestly, I'll definitely check that out after the stream. That does sound pretty good. Okay, that said, 60 to 69 is a D. I'll go with another else if. So I'll go with an else if I add a pair of parentheses. My else if is going to be having a score. If my score is either greater than or equal to 60, and my score is either less than, okay, I think that should be less than here. Okay, and my score is either less than or equal to, let's go with 69. Okay, I'll add a pair of curly parentheses, go to a new line, go with std standard, and add a cout, a standard output with an insertion operator. This is going to say something like you scored a D question mark. Okay, and lastly I'll go with an else clause, but I will end this with a semicolon. Okay, let's go with an else clause. My else clause is going to be all lowercase. It is going to be having a pair of curly parentheses. That's going to print something else. Excuse me guys, so std colon cout, I'm going to be printing something like you failed exclamation. Okay, and then I'll end this with a semicolon. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I need to add an insertion operator to insert a value in it. Is it called like insert a string? You need to learn C first. Cout means console output. Oh, I thought it means standard output. Okay, I'll actually remember that. And honestly, I do want to like learn C, C# and everything. I might actually learn that after the C++. Okay, that said, I did enter a score. Now, lastly, let me go ahead and return 0. Okay, so that does stand for console output. That makes more sense now, because I was like, how does C stand for standard? I'll be back in 20 minutes, man. Let me grab my laptop. Your stream lit. I appreciate you, Lion. I guess I'll catch you in 20 minutes. Okay, that said, let me go with the Control-S to save my code. Run the command. If I run the command, it's going to say enter a score. Let's say I got 99. You scored an A. Now, if I hit CLS, okay, CLS, should I go with like 90? I thought it worked like this before. Okay, let's go with another score. What if I get like 50? You failed. Okay, if I run the command again, it's gonna say something like, let me get like 68. You scored a D question mark? Oh, okay, what if I go with CLS? Oh, that's how it works. Alright, lastly, let me go with 12. That's gonna say you failed. No, I don't really think C is a prestige for C++. Oh, I see. Okay, let me go with the Control-A, Control-C, copy this, get sensei here. Okay, let me paste it, add a bunch of spaces, let's say sensei. I think I got it, question mark. I mean, I think it's correct. Haha, soldier, look at that. That's near perfect conditions, cover all possible scores, braces, and clean. And you didn't use using namespace, standard, discipline mode activated. A few notes to level up your master skills. You don't need to check the upper bound each time, else if score is greater than or equal to 80, automatically less than or equal to 89, because previously if already failed. I see. Okay, mark the code cleaner and easier to read, adding std end line at the end for each count keeps the output tidy on terminal. Okay, I actually forgot to add the end line. Here's a refined version. Okay, so I just gotta go. If my score is greater than or equal to 90, do that. If my score is greater than or equal to 80, do that. 70, I see. Your turn, rewriting. Okay, your turn. Try rewriting it like this without upper bounds and add end line. It will make your code pro level clean. Okay, I think I can try adding those updates. Bro, Mochi want a pro tip in ChatGPT. When you copy paste your code, use shift and space to make a new line. Shift and space. It's much better than. Oh, okay. I've been trying to figure that out, because usually I hit enter, but when I hit enter, my code just sends. So I just add a bunch of spaces. I'll definitely try shift and space. Okay, that makes more sense. I appreciate you, Mochi Mochi. That actually solves like so many problems. King said hi. How you doing, King? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, let me remove that as well. And I gotta end my code with a end line. I forgot to do that actually. Okay, so let me go ahead. Before I add a semicolon, I'll go with two more insertion operators, std, colon, colon. I'm gonna end my line. There we go. And then add a semicolon. Okay, I don't think I need to add a space. Alright, so let me go with two more insertion operators. Actually, just a insertion operator. A standard colon, colon. I wanna end my line. Then a semicolon. Then I'll do that for here as well. I'll go with an insertion operator, std, colon, colon. I wanna end my line. Okay, and then a semicolon. Let me do that for B as well. I'll go with an insertion operator, std, colon, colon. I want to end my line. And lastly, I'll do that for my A as well. Insertion operator, standard, colon, colon. I want to end my line here. Okay, I don't think I need to do that for my score. If I go with Control S, that saves my code. If I run the command, let this be something like 40. You failed. If I go up, I type CLS, enter a score. It says, let me go with something like 78. Okay, it says desktop C++ directory. Do I need to always? I'm pretty sure it worked without me canceling it before. Okay, let me go with 78. You scored a C. Perfect. Let me go with a Control C. Copy that. Get sensor here. Okay, let me paste it. Add a bunch of spaces. Actually, instead of bunch of spaces, it was shift space, so I'll go with shift space. Shift space. Honestly, shift space doesn't work. Am I like doing it wrong? It's like shift space or shift enter. Oh, shift enter works. Okay, that makes more sense. Alright, let me say, I'll just send it honestly. Okay, now we're talking. Look at that clean effect. An efficient, clean, efficient, no redundant checks, terminal output tidy with ends with std end line. This is sensei approved. You just leveled up. No bro, just press up and enter. CLS means clear and it cleans the terminal. Paste your code block using triple backtick sign / code. This way code looks pretty. Shift enter. Ooh, I see. Okay, understanding if, else if, and else clause. Using C++ syntax properly. Disciplined? No. Using the next step. Advanced if, else if challenge. Okay, write a program that asks the user for their age and exam score. Print message based on both values. If age is either greater than 18 and score is... If age is less than 18 and score is greater than or equal to 90, print young genius. If age is greater than 18, greater than or equal to 18, and score is greater than or equal to 90, print adult genius. If score is less than 60, print failed. Otherwise, print keep trying. Rules: use integer for both age and score. Must combine conditions with and or properly. Prefix everything with std, colon, colon, standard 2 colons. No using namespace, standard with a semicolon. Output each message on its own. Okay. See if I were to get sensei there. Alright, let's see. Let's go with the Control A, delete the whole thing. Maybe zoom in a little. Okay, so ask the user for name and age. Before I ask the user for name and age, I will go ahead and add a hashtag and include, maybe a lowercase include. So include, add a pair of angle brackets. This is going to be my IO stream. I'm going to be including my IO stream. And then let me go ahead and typecast my main function to an integer. Try short int for this task, bro. Honestly, I forgot about the short int. I'll definitely try it here. Okay, and then I'll add a pair of parentheses. Go down. Let me go ahead and go up. Alright, firstly, I'm going to go with an integer. So I'll go with short int. Is this how we type it though? Short int. Okay, I'm going to typecast, let's say I needed an age and score. So my score to short int. Okay, and then I could go with something like another short int. Instead, I could just add a comma here and add age as well. Alright, next up, prints message on both values if age is either greater than or equal to 18. Okay, I will be adding a std, colon, colon. a console output. My console's output is going to be having an insertion operator that is going to be saying something in a pair of double quotes. It's going to be saying something like, let's see, I will end this with a semicolon. Okay, enter your age. Okay, for enter your age, I will be adding, or I will be needing a std colon colon. I would need a console input, so cin with an extraction operator. That is going to be my age variable. Okay, and then I'll go with std colon colon. This is going to be another console output with an insertion operator. Okay, my insertion operator is going to be in a pair of quotes since it is a string. This will say something like enter your score. There we go. I'll end it with a semicolon, and then I'll go with std colon colon, a console input with an extraction operator. This is going to be my score variable. There we go. I wonder if I should go with end line. I'm pretty sure I should go with an end line. So let me go with two more insertion operators, end line, a semicolon. And then I'll go with two more insertion operators, end line, a semicolon. We just keep this there. Okay, let's see. Did I spell my end line correct? Wait, is that like end 1? Okay, that is NL. Hashtag no name, just do 1 is fine instead of 3, I think. Mochi, normally you should close the code block. It's markdown. Okay, I see. Was I like messing up somewhere in the std? There we go. I added two insertion operators. I ended my line. I don't think we can end our line here in that case. Okay, maybe that doesn't make sense. Use std namespace and L. std namespace. Honestly, I did like, people did say me not to like try it, but I do want to try it once. So std namespace in and L. Is this how it works? Okay, I think I got it wrong. std. Oh, okay. My bad, guys. That was okay. Hold up. No way. I actually forgot that part. There we go. End line. Okay, guys. No way. I actually forgot this part. Okay, let me go with two more insertion operators. std colon colon end line with a semicolon. There we go. Okay, that makes more sense now. Alright, next up, let's see. Let me go ahead and add another std console output. So my std2 colons console output is going to be having an insertion operator in a pair of double quotes. I'm going to be saying something like, actually, before I say this, I might go with an if statement. So let's go with an if statement. If a pair of parentheses, so if my age is either less than 18 and my score is greater than or equal to 90, it prints young genius. So let's go with if my age variable is less than 18, okay? And so for and, I'll go with two and signs, and my score is greater than or equal to 90. I'm gonna say something. Let's see. Outside my pair of parentheses, I'm gonna be adding a pair of curly brackets, and then go with a std colon colon console output with an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting a string, so a pair of double quotes. This is going to say something like young genius. There we go. Yo bro, what's good? How you doing, Formidable Thunder? I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, let me add a semicolon here. Alright, next up I'll go with an else if here. So an else if a pair of parentheses. So the next is, if my age is either greater than 18 and score is greater than or equal to 90, print adult genius. Okay, and this thing I could add an exclamation for showing some hype. Okay, so if my age is either greater than or equal to 18, so if my age is more than or equal to 18, okay, and so instead of going with and, I'll type two and signs. My score is greater than or equal to 90. I'm going to be adding a pair of parentheses, curly parentheses, go with std standard 2 colons, a console output. My console output is going to be having an insertion operator in a pair of double quotes. I'm going to be typing something like adult genius, exclamation. Bro, try to use Boolean in next task. Oh, honestly, yeah, I do want to use Boolean. I actually might use Boolean next. Okay, there we go. STD. Da, da, da. Okay, I'm pretty sure Boolean has like a special stuff because Boolean would either return 1 if true and 0 if false, and like a Boolean alpha would return like the actual false statement or something like that. I do need to work more on that. Let me go with an else clause, else if, I'll add a pair of parentheses. Okay, if score is either less than 60, print failed, otherwise print keep trying. So let's go with my score variable is less than 60. Okay, I'm gonna add a pair of curly parentheses, go to a new line, and go with a std standard to colon a C output, a console output. I want to output to my console. I'll go with an insertion operator. My insertion operator is going to be having something like failed exclamation. Add a pair of add a semicolon, and then I'll go to the new line, and lastly add a else clause. My else clause will have a pair of curly parentheses. I'll go in a new line, go with standard 2 colons, and a console output. My console output is going to be having a insertion operator that is going to be saying something like keep trying dot dot dot. Actually, I'll go with an exclamation. Okay, and a semicolon. Lastly, I'll go with return 0 with a semicolon. If I go with Control S to save everything and run the command, enter your age. Okay, after I enter my age, I do want to enter my age up there, so I might remove the end line here. Okay, let me go ahead and remove that and that. There we go, and add a semicolon here and add a semicolon there. Delete this, go with a Control S. Now if I run the command, it's gonna say enter a age. Let's say I'm 17. Enter your score. I'd say I got 89. Keep trying. Okay, this should be exclamation. Okay, why does it say 89 for keep trying? Did I go with greater than if my score is either less than? It says failed. Else keep trying. What if I like delete that, go again and type error expected unqualified ID before less than token 160. Did I like mess up somewhere? Okay, I added all semicolons. And score. Okay, I think let's go to Control S, save everything and try again. Enter a age. My age is going to be something like 17. There we go. Enter a score. I'll go with 90. Okay, young genius. If I go with a top sign, okay, my up arrow key, and type enter. Okay, it does say enter age. My age is going to be this time 21. Enter score. I'll go with 60. Keep trying. Okay, I think there might be a small problem here for like saying you failed. Okay, if my score is less than or equal to 60. Okay, now if I run the command, let me like delete this and try like a fresh command. Go with Control S. If I run the command, it's gonna be saying I'll go with 21 and go with something like 60. There we go, failed. Okay, perfect. I will try booleans next. Okay, let me get Sensei slash ChatGPT here. Paste it. Go with a shift enter. There we go. That's much better. Let me say, let's say, I honestly want to try bool now dot dot dot. Okay, while Sensei is typing something, let me drink some water. Okay, haha soldier, look at you. Logic clean, conditions correct, almost ready to command the true power of C++. One tiny detail before we move on to booleans. Else if score is less than or equal to 60, watch this. If the score is exactly 60, it's count as failed. Usually you want less than 60 for fail or greater than 60 for passing grades. Tiny adjustment for precision. Now let's summon the true false power of Boolean. Basics of Boolean and C++. Boolean is a type that can only be true or false. Excuse me guys. So we create a is underscore or a is raining variable. We typecasted that to a Boolean that is set to true. Has homework, we typecasted that to Boolean which is set to false. If you can use, okay, you can use it in if statements. If is raining, std count, take umbrella, std and l. Okay, else go outside freely. I see. You can even combine it with comparisons. We created an age variable, got it to integer 20. Boolean is adult equals to age is greater than or equal to 18 if is adult. Say welcome adult. Boolean Okay, use switch case instead. It's faster. Honestly, I think our switch case is like match case because I did learn match case statements in Python. It says like my case is something like case 1, case 2, case 3. I didn't like go completely in depth of that, but I do have a quick idea on like what match case means. And like while I was learning match case, it said in other programming languages it's called switch case. That said, let me say can I get a question mark? Okay, let's see. Ha ha ha, finally ready to play with the true false, ready to play with the true slash false magic. Here's your instructional question challenge. And guys, I wish that I added like the thumbnail of my video. I wish that the thumbnail and the title of my video was learning if else if. It says learning variables or like mastering variables. Okay, that said, task login checker. Write a program that asks the user for a username string and password string, checks them in Boolean variable. Okay, write a program that asks the user for a username. Okay, so I gotta go with a username string, a password string, checks them for Boolean variables. If username is admin and password is 1234, set a Boolean logged in variable to be true, otherwise logged in false. Use an if statement to print access granted if logged in is true, access denied if logged in is false. Okay, rules. Prefix everything with std, no using namespace std, output must be on its own line, declare Boolean variable to store login status. Okay, let me get to say there. Case 1 means if variable equals to 1. Oh, I see. Switch can be used in probability scenarios, most probably is there in game. Honestly, I feel like switch is like if there are like multiple repeats of something. For example, if it is Sunday, print it say weekend. If it is Monday, print it say weekday. Actually, I feel like Sunday is a weekday. Fact check me, guys. So if it's Monday weekday, Tuesday weekday, Wednesday weekday, Thursday weekday, Friday weekday, Saturday weekend, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, guys, you guys get the gist of it. So instead of adding all those if and else if statements for the weekends, we could use match case statements to go with case 1. If like case 1 is either Monday to Friday, like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, print weekends. Else, if the case is like case is Friday, Saturday, print weekday. Actually, I flipped that. I think Friday, Saturday is weekend and like Monday to Thursday is weekday. Okay, mastering variables, you'll need to know pointer and reference variables. Honestly, I've never heard of pointer and reference variables. Might check on that. That said, let's go with the control A, delete the whole thing. Let me go with the hashtag include. I want to include a pair of ankle braces or like ankle braces IO stream. So include IO stream. And then I'll typecast my main function to an integer. Okay, go with a pair of curly parentheses, maybe add a bunch of spaces, go up. Okay, so now it says ask the user for username and password. So I'll go with std : I'll typecast my, let's say, username. So my username and my password to be a string. There we go. Try to use switch instead of if else if. Honestly, I'll definitely like move on to learning switches as well. I do want to like get a good grasp of the basics first, like my if else if. Although I will definitely ask Sensei for that, and I might have a specific stream to master switches because that sounds like a pretty fun topic. Okay, that said, I typecasted my username and password to a string. Okay, and then I go out and add a standard output or a console output. So I'll go with std : Let's see, let's go with a console output with an insertion operator, add a pair of double quotes. This is going to say something like, let's see, I need to add a semicolon here. Okay, I'll say something like, enter your username. There we go. Okay, I will be ending this with a semicolon, and then I'll go with std : Now I'm going to be needing a console input. So I'll go with console input with an extraction operator. And this is going to be my username variable. How old are you? I'm 17 years old. Did you read some books? Honestly, I don't read those many books. I used to read a lot of graphic novels. That said, ever since I started my programming series, I didn't have enough time, and that I have college as well. Okay, honestly, I do want to read books though. It actually sounds pretty fun to read books. Hi, howdy monster, I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, that said, enter username, and then let me go with another STD, so I'll go with STD colon colon. There we go. Good console input and console output. Yep, that I actually appreciate. I think it was Mick who said me that. That C out stands for console output. I used to call it standard output. That sounds pretty silly now that I think of it. Okay, so console output to an insertion operator. I'll go with something like enter your password. There we go. Okay, this is gonna end with a semicolon as well. I'll go with a standard 2 colons. This time I'll go with a CN, a standard, actually a console input with an extraction operator. This is gonna be my password. Do you know Tamil, bro? Honestly, I should learn so many languages. The only good language that I'm actually fluent in is English. Maybe a little Hindi. I don't know much, guys. English, like I'm used to like talking English a lot, so I feel I'm like really fluent in English. That said, I do understand Hindi and like maybe I can speak a little. I don't know. I don't like using like the wrong words because I don't want to like hurt somebody if I like using wrong words. So I use my words real wisely, guys. That said, sir, is CERR is mean console error. Oh, I see. Okay. So when I get an error and it says CERR, that's console error. Okay, so basically anything with C is like console. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so I get my inputs here. Next up, let's see. I gotta check. If username is admin and password is 1234, set a boolean logged in to be equal to true. Alright, let me go with an if statement. So if add a pair of parentheses, let's go with something like if my username variable is equal to, let's see. Let's go with a string. My string is going to be something like what was it? Was it called admin? Okay, admin. Don't forget to use it. CRR means console error. Don't forget to use console error. I might ask Sensei how to use that. Okay, that said, if username is equal to admin, okay, and password is 1234, I'll go with and my password variable, okay, is equal to, let's go with something like 1234. Okay, can't you use two equal to here, or should this be in a pair of okay, I think it should be in a pair of quotes here as well. Since my username and password is a string, it would be a different case if my password was a integer like a double slash float. That said, if my username is admin and password is 1234, I'll create a boolean variable. Okay, maybe I go here, add a pair of curly braces. I'll go with a boolean variable called logged in. So logged in, since C++ is case sensitive, I'll go with logged in or logged underscore in. Also, that equal to true. Okay, is this how this works? It's not. Can't I like just create a variable here? I think I should create it up here. Okay, let's go with a boolean. So I'll go with a bool. Okay, would I need like a std for bool? So boolean. Okay, I would not. Boolean logged in. So logged logged underscore in. I typecast my logged in to a boolean which is set to false initially. Okay, logged in equals to true. Okay, I end this with a semicolon. Alright, perfect. I'm done with that. Let's go with an else if now. Else if, actually, so else if, let's see the next one. Okay. If username is admin, password that boolean true, otherwise login false. Okay, so instead of going with else if, I'll just go with the regular else. Else, add a pair of curly parentheses. I'll go with my logged in variable, logged underscore in. I'll set that equal to false. Okay. He's new to it. Let him cook. Honestly, guys, I don't know if I'm cooking much. That said, else false. Do I need to add like a semicolon here? There we go. Okay, perfect. Instead of setting a Boolean variable inside and condition, you could set it to the expression. Is like, are these the expressions like my string example logged in equals to username equals to. Oh, that actually makes sense, because like I remember doing stuff like that in Python. There was like a username or like logged in equals to username. So if my username is set to admin, it is going to be true, else it's going to be false, if that made any sense. Honestly, I might try that next. I might try that after this question. I do want to like go with the very basics real quick. Okay, so else this. Okay, use an if statement to print access granted if login is true, access denied if logged in is false. Okay, if logged in is true. Okay, I might go with an if outside here now, so I'll go with an if statement, a pair of parentheses, if logged in, so if logged underscore in. If that is set to true, I'm going to be doing something. I'll go with a pair of curly parentheses and I'm going to be printing something. I'll go with a cd standard 2 colons. I'm going to go with a console output with a insertion operator. This is going to be in a pair of double quotes. I'll print something like access granted. Okay, and then I'll go with a semicolon. Let me go with an else clause. Else, yeah, I'll go with else, a pair of curly parentheses, standard 2 colons. I'll go with a console output that says something like, let's go with a insertion operator. I'll go with access denied. Okay, did I spell denied correct? D-E-N-I-E-D. Okay, perfect, with a semicolon. Lastly, I'm going to be returning 0. Let me return 0 with a semicolon. You already set variable to false, no need to do it again. Okay, so like just one if would work in that case, I guess. Okay, so it is set to false. Okay, that's true. Do you know Java? Honestly, no. The only coding language I actually do know is Python, because that was the first coding language that I started with like 100 days ago. And that was the first time that I was even influenced to programming. That said, I do want to learn multiple languages, eventually move on to Java. Maybe after my 250 series, because I don't think we use Java for making games. Fact check me, guys. I didn't like do much research in that. Okay, that said, if I were to go with Control S to save everything and run the command, okay, it says enter a username. I don't know, I'll go with something like Sarah. Enter a password. I'll go with 1234. Access denied. If I run the command again, oh, I could have just run it with a shortcut. Okay, this is going to be admin. My username is admin. Password is 1234. Access granted. Okay, perfect. Let's go with a control C. Okay, if I were to get sensei here, paste it, add a bunch of spaces. I forgot, what was I going to do next? Like, did I say I was going to do something after that question? Example logged in equals to username. Okay, logged in equals to username. If username is set to... okay, I think that makes sense. Okay, let's go with ha soldier. Look at this beauty. You just mastered Boolean with if statements. Okay, what you did right, declared a Boolean variable for login status, check both username and password with and use the Boolean in an if, else if statement, prefix everything with std, perfectly clean code. A little tip to level up, add std : end line after you output to make the terminal output tidy. Okay, I see. Variable name style, you use login logged underscore in C++. It's more common to see logged in. I see, but that's just style. If you're ready, I can give you a slightly harder Boolean if/else challenge where you combine multiple conditions and types. Okay, let me say, ready sensei. I want to say that in caps, honestly. Ready sensei. I spelled this wrong. It's less error prone if you write if true else. It's less error prone if you write like... it's like basically water all over my face. Okay, that said, ha, that's the spirit. Alright soldier, time to melt your brains with the next Boolean if else if challenge. Okay, task elite access control. Write a program that asks the user for age, integer, has key, Boolean true or false. Okay, score, integer. Okay, use Boolean variables to track access. Boolean age, okay, equals to age. Okay, is greater than or equal to 18. So if my Boolean age is equal to age, which is greater than or equal to 18, I think I see. Just forget it, YouTube chat is not formatting correct. Honestly, yeah. Okay, Boolean score okay equals to score greater than or equal to 75. Boolean access granted to be equal to age okay. Two ands has key and score okay. Okay, score okay. So if I have enough score, if my age is above 18, is greater than or equal to 18, print message based on access granted. If true, access granted, welcome elite member. If false, access denied, you're not elite enough. Okay, I see. Rules. Prefix all with std, no namespace, output each message, use Boolean variables for each condition, not just cram everything into the statement. Okay, let me get say there. Alright, let's go with a control A, delete this whole thing. Now let me add a hashtag. I'm going to be including, this is going to be lowercase, so I'll go with include. Add a pair of curly brackets. This is going to be IO stream. I'm going to include IO stream. And then I'm going to typecast my main function inside of an integer. Go with a pair of curly braces. Okay, or curly parentheses. Okay, next up, firstly, I'll need a few variables. What variables did I need? I needed a age okay variable that said if my age is greater than or equal to 18. A score okay variable, score okay Boolean variable if my score is either greater than or equal to 75. A access granted Boolean variable, okay, equals to, okay, so my access granted Boolean variable is going to be set to true if my age okay is greater than 18 and has key. If I have key, how do I get key? Okay, did you ask Sensei about short int, unsigned int, and signed int? Honestly, I did ask about short int. Short int is like basically with like regular integer after the... Actually, no, I asked about short double. Let me actually ask about short int. Because I thought short double is like you get only 2 decimal numbers after the decimal point, and like long is like you get 4. Let me also say, before I start the question, I have a quick question. Okay, what does the short int... Okay, what does the short and unsigned int and signed int mean? Question marks. Let's see. Okay, listen up, soldier. This is crucial if you want to master C++ and not waste memory like a clumsy recruit. Integer. The standard integer type can store positive and negative whole numbers. Usually 4 bytes in modern system. Okay, bytes. I think I've heard of bytes. I forgot what it was. Integer x is going to be equal to 42. Integer y is going to be equal to negative 42. Short int or short. A smaller integer, usually 2 bytes, can store smaller range of numbers. Oh, I think... Okay, I think I know this. I asked this yesterday, most likely. Roughly negative 32,000... Excuse me, guys. 768... Excuse me again, guys. To 32,767. Use it to save memory when you know all the numbers are small. Unsigned int stores all positive numbers and 0 doubles the max positive value, no negatives allowed. Example 0 for billion if 4 bytes. Okay, I didn't understand that part. Signed in explicitly allows both positive and negative numbers, usually the same as normal integer, most used to be clear in situations where you have unassigned variables or unsigned variants. Okay, signed integer number equals to negative 100. Rule of thumb, use integer unless you have memory constraints. Okay, use short for small memories. Use unsigned if you only need positive and want a bigger range. If you want, I can show you the, honestly, I might work on that like in a bit, or like in a after a few streams, like after a couple more streams, once I get a basic hang of C++, if that made any sense. That said, let me get Sensei here. Okay, let's see. So I create variables. So what all variables do I need? I need a age variable, which is going to be an integer, a hash key variable, which is going to be a boolean, and a score variable, which is going to be an integer. So I'll go with integer. My integer is going to be my age variable and my score variable. Okay, I will add a semicolon here, go to a new line, go with boolean. For my boolean, I'm going to be needing a hash key variable. So I'll go with hash key. My hash key is gonna be set to true by default. Okay, and then use boolean variables to track access. So boolean age okay, boolean age okay equals to age. Oh, I think I see what that means. Sensei is really helpful, honestly. Yeah, and my whole 100 days for Python series, that's like Sensei/ChatGPT has been like a huge help. That said, okay, after like the codes got a little complicated, for example, the 400 line code that I made for like my day 100, that's the only place where like Sensei/ChatGPT was messing up a bit. But when it comes to basics, that's like Sensei/ChatGPT is the perfect tool slash teacher or sensei. Okay, so I'll create another boolean variable for boolean age okay. So I'll create a age okay boolean. Okay, I closed my screen by mistake, guys. That said, for my boolean age okay variable, that is going to be equal to, let's see, my age if it's greater than or equal to 18. So what I think this basically means is, if my age is greater than or equal to 18, my age okay boolean variable is going to be set to true by default. And everyone has keys. Okay. And then I need one for score, for if my score is either more than, means greater than, or equal to 75. So let's add that. I'll go with boolean. Okay, I'll go with boolean. This is going to be score okay if my score is okay. Score okay, I'll set my score okay equal to, let's see, if my score variable is either greater than or equal to 75, that means my score is okay. And then I go on for access granted. Okay, so I'll go with boolean. This is going to be ACCESSGRANTD. There we go. Guys, got to make sure I'm spelling it correct. Boolean access granted is going to be equal to age okay if my age okay variable is set to true, and my hash key variable is set to true as well if my students ages, or if my users ages granted, access granted. Okay, if I'm greater than or equal to 18, if I have a key, and let's go with score okay, and my score is okay. If all these variables are set to true, then my access granted variable is going to be set to true. Okay, print messages based on access granted. If my access granted is set to true, welcome the lead member. I see. Okay, so let's go down, and then let me go ahead and add a std for standard console output. My standard console output will have an insertion operator that is going to be having a pair of double quotations since it is a string. This is going to say something like, let's go with enter your age. This is going to be the age. I'll end it with a semicolon. Maybe I'll go with two insertion operators and I'll end my line, then go with a semicolon. Okay, this is going to be having an std : so standard, two colons, end line. Let me go with another standard, two colons. I'll go with cin, so console input, with an extraction operator or an extraction operator. This is going to be my score variable. Actually, this is going to be my age variable. There we go. Okay, I will end it with a semicolon, and then let me go with std standard, two colons, a console output. My console output is going to be having an insertion operator, which is going to be saying a string. So I'll add in a pair of double quotes. That's going to say enter your score. Okay, I'll add another insertion operator. There we go. I'll go with std standard 2:. This is going to be end line. I'm going to end my line here with a semicolon. And then I'll go with another standard, 2 more insertion, actually 2 more colons. This is going to be my console input. My console input will be having an extraction operator. This is going to be my score variable with a semicolon. Okay. Alright, so these are my inputs. So what else would I need? I'll add an if statement now. So if a pair of parentheses, if access granted, if my access granted is set to true, then I'm going to be doing something. I'll go with a pair of curly parentheses, go with std standard 2:. Am I audible? Okay, 2:, and then I'm going to be printing something here. So I'll go with console output. My console output is going to be having an insertion operator, which is going to say something like access granted exclamation elite member full stop. Did I spell elite member correct? Okay, access granted exclamation. Let me go with welcome. Welcome elite member exclamation. There we go. That sounds much more energetic. I'll end it with a semicolon, and then I'll go with an else clause now. I'll go with else, add a pair of curly parentheses. This is going to be standard 2:, so std 2:. I'll go with a console output. My console output is going to be having 2 insertion operators in a pair of double quotations. I'm going to be saying something like access denied exclamation. Okay, you are not elite member. Let me go with something like you're not a elite member exclamation. Okay, and I will be ending this with a semicolon. Lastly, I'll go ahead and return 0 and add a semicolon. If I were to type Control S to save everything and then run the command, can you not add space after std? It's not error, but not standard. Oh, I thought usually people don't add space after std because to save lines. Like sometimes in like Python when I used to do stuff, I used to not even add like space between age and score. I thought that usually people do that so the code is a little shorter. Okay, I think we add space. Okay, let me go with a Control S to save everything. If I run the command, okay, it's going to say enter an age. Let's say 18. Enter your score. Let's say I got a 90. It says access denied. You're not an elite member. Hold up. If my age is greater than or equal to 18, okay, and my score is either greater than or equal to 75. Okay, access granted is going to be true if these things are true. Let me try again actually. If I were to run the command, let me go with something like 21 and 100. Access denied, you're not an elite member. Okay, let's see. It says standard, see out, if my access is granted, if this is set to true, it is set to true. If my age is okay, I do add my, oh, and has key. I need to have key. Okay, let me go here and add another std. Honestly, has key is set to true by default, right? Or should I like specify that has key equals to true? Everyone has a key. Okay, if I go with a Control S, save the code, and then run the command, let me actually delete this whole thing. There we go, that looks much cleaner. Okay, I'll go with 18. Enter your score, I'll go with 90. Access denied, you're not an elite member. Okay, so this is going to be my age variable, that is going to be my score variable. Okay, and then access granted equals to age okay, which is going to be set to true, and has key, which is set to true, and score okay, which is going to be set to true as well if my score is either greater than or equal to 75. What if I went with 75? Let me delete that. Okay, I don't think I should like highlight something. Okay, now if I run the command, enter your age, I'll go with 18, I'll go with 75. It says access denied. Okay, let me go with a Control C, just say here. Paste it, add a bunch of spaces, let's say, I feel like I did everything correct, but it says access denied every time question mark. Okay, ha ha ha, soldier, I see where you tripped. This is a classic C++ logic trap. Look closely. Boolean, Boolean score okay, access granted, okay. You are creating age okay, score okay, and access granted before taking the input. Shouldn't it be created before? Or wait, I think it's different from Python. At that point, age, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Move your Boolean assignments after you take input. After I take input. You need to take the input first. Honestly, I'm so used to like adding my variables first. That said, let me take my inputs first. So go with Control C, delete the whole thing. Maybe under my agent score. Honestly, no man, I think it's the same in Python as well. I was just kind of stupid because like how would the console know that these are set to true without me giving input? Okay, that actually does make some sense. Let me go with Control S to save. If I were to run the command, maybe let me delete the whole thing so it's kind of cleaner. There we go. Enter your age. I'm 18. Enter your score. I'll go with 90. Access granted. Welcome elite member. What if I run the command again, but this time I go with something like 17? And enter your score. I'll go with something like 85. Access denied. You're not an elite member. Okay, perfect. So order of operations does matter here. First, I ask input to set the variable for my age and my score, and then I add Boolean variables to do something if a certain stuff is set to true. Okay, and I do want to try one more thing. Let me remove the true from hash-key. If I go with Control S to save and run the command, I'll go with 18 and 90%. Access denied, you're not an elite member. Okay, my hash-key needs to be set to true. Alright, perfect. Let's go with a Control C, get Sensei back here. Paste it, add a bunch of spaces and say Sensei. I see, dot dot dot. So is it different from Python in this case? Because I'm pretty sure in Python, unless we oh, I didn't want to add this whole thing in caps. Okay, because I'm pretty sure that in Python, unless we add a function, we don't need to worry about the inputs being under the variables. Or am I wrong? Question mark. I hope I'm wrong in this part, then it would be kind of good. Haha, soldier, you're starting to see C++ traps. Yes, this one is the big difference between C++ and Python. Never mind, I was correct. Okay, why this happens in C++? In C++, variables are not automatically initialized. Integer age, unidentified value. When you do, Boolean age equals to age. Boolean age okay equals to. Okay, so when you do, I create a age okay variable, I typecast it to a Boolean. If my age is greater than or equal to 18, my age okay is going to be set to true. C++ uses the current value of age, which is garbage if you haven't assigned anything yet. This is why you must reassign values. Console input an extraction operator age before you calculate anything dependent on them. Oh, I see. In Python, variables are assigned as soon as you input them. Age equals to integer input, enter a age okay equals to age which is greater than or equal to 18. There is no risk of garbage value because Python doesn't allocate, is that how it pronounces, memory in some raw ways as C++. Listen, C++ is strict and low level. The order of operator matters, memory is explicit, Python is high level and forgiving, it tracks values automatically. Wait, isn't low level supposed to be easy? Let me see. So say, what's the difference between low level and high level? Isn't low level supposed to be easy? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Ha ha ha, I don't know why I sense laughing so much today, guys. That said, soldier, you're thinking backwards. Let me teach you this once, and Borrow it in that brain of yours. Shouldn't this be Buri? High-level language is human-friendly, abstracted from the machine. You write what you mean, not having the computer actually does it. Examples: Python, JavaScript, Ruby. Memory, input, output, and underlining operators are handled for you. Pros, easier, faster to code, less prone to memory mistakes. Cons, less control, sometimes slower. Okay, you don't care how input is stored, how memory works, or how the CPU sees. Low-level languages, close to what computer actually does. Example: C, C++, assembly. You manage memory, data types, and execution. Order yourself. Pros: maximum control, fast program, can interface with hardware. Cons: harder to write, more mistakes. Everything must be precise. Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense now. That makes sense. You must manage variable initialization, type memory, and order of execution. Truth bomb: low level does not mean easier, it means closer to machine, more responsibility on you. Python is high level because it shields you from the messy reality of memory and CPU instructions. Okay, I think I see. Let me say, in that case, can I get more questions? Question mark. One by one though. Okay, I think I just need more practice. Okay, guys, I think I just need more practice. Why do my arms start hurting? I think I need to start working out my arm. Ever since my 100 series, I actually stopped working out that much. Ha ha ha! Finally, ready to sweat, soldier. We're sticking with C++, input, output, and bool logic, one question at a time. Question: shopping discount check. Write a program that asks the user for age, integer, is member, boolean, true or false. Purchase amount, double. Calculate a boolean discount that is true if the user is over 60 or the user is a member and the purchase amount is over 100. Print: discount applied if discount is true, no discount if discount is false. Rules: prefix everything with std: use boolean variable for each condition. Take inputs before calculating the booleans. Write it, soldier. I want to see clean, disciplined logic. Okay, let's get some say there. Let me go ahead and do Control A, delete this whole thing. Maybe drink some water. Okay, so let me start off by including. So I'll go with include, add angle brackets, go with IO stream. I want to include IO stream. This is going to be hashtag include IO stream. Okay, there we go. Maybe I don't add a space. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is correct. IO stream. Isn't this how we did it? Like hashtag include, add a pair of ankle braces, IO stream. There we go, now it works. What was the difference? Did I do something wrong before? Okay, that said, I will typecast my main to be an integer, my main function to be an integer, and then I'll add a pair of curly parentheses, maybe add a bunch of spaces, go up, there we go, tap to indent. Okay, now, what do I gotta do? Let's see. Write a program that asks the user for age, integer, is member, boolean, purchase amount, double. So I'll go with an integer. I'll typecast my age to be an integer. If I add a space here, actually I'll end it with a semicolon. And then I'll go with a boolean value, which is going to be is member. I will check if my customer, if my user is a member. I'll set that equal to true for now, because let's assume my user is a member. And then I'll go with a double, which basically means a floating point number slash a decimal point number. That is going to be something like amount. This is going to be the purchase amount. Okay, I'll add a semicolon. And then let's ask for some user input. So I'll go with std : excuse me guys, standard 2 colons. Excuse me again guys. I'll go with a console output. My console output is going to be having an insertion operator, which is going to say something in a pair of double quotes since it is a string. I'm going to be saying something like, what's your age? Enter your age. There we go. I will be ending this with a semicolon, and then let's go with a std : I'll get a input to that output. So I'll go with console input and extraction operator. This is going to be my age variable. Okay, add a semicolon, and then I'll go with standard, 2 colons. I'll go with console output, 2 insertion operators. This is gonna say something like enter a amount. Actually, enter a amount calculates discount. Okay, honestly, I think enter amount. I do want to later add a logic that says enter a grocery item, enter the price for that grocery item, and then those items add up. That said, I feel that's a little complicating here. I can do it in Python. I should be able to do it here, honestly. Okay, std out. My console output will have a standard console input as well with an extraction operator. This is going to be my amount variable. There we go. Write a program that displays name like a blittboard. Any name you give it, it should out with s as a base. Okay, write a program that displays name like a billboard. Honestly, I think I might know what that means. Is that like the concession stat program that I made? I don't think I uploaded a video on that, but it's like menu, all the menu items, maybe something like that. Okay, that said, I'll go with a few if statements here now. Honestly, I created my variables here. These are undeclared variables. These declares those variables. Now I'll go with a if statement. Okay. Alright, so let's see. I'll go with if a pair of parentheses. Let's see. So, ask the user for input, did that. Calculate a Boolean discount that is true if the user is over 60 or the user is a member and the purchase amount is over 100. Okay, let's go with an if statement. So if my age, okay, I might create another variable. So I'll go with a Boolean variable. This is gonna be senior age. Okay, this is gonna be equal to, let's see, a pair of parentheses. Actually, instead of the pair of parentheses, I'll go with age, my age variable, if it's greater than or equal to 60. There we go. If my age is greater than or equal to 60, senior age is going to be considered true. Okay. And then I'll go with a member. I already have a member here. Okay, so I wouldn't need that. Next up, let me go ahead and add a Boolean for discount. This is going to be a discount variable which is going to be equal to true only if is underscore member. Okay, if the user is a member, I might add a semicolon here. There we go. If is member, did I spell it correct? Okay, so no underscore. If is member and, so two and signs. Did I spell member correct? M-E-M-E-B-E-R. I don't think member needs another E. There we go. Okay, is member set to true, and let's go with senior age. There we go, semicolon. So if my is member is set to true and my senior age is set to true, my discount is going to be set to true. Therefore, I'm going to be getting a discount. That said, let's do the math. How much discount do I need? Okay, honestly, the if senior age and my amount variable is either greater than or equal to 100. There we go. Okay, now I'll go with a console output. My console output will have an insertion operator in a pair of quotes. I'm going to be typing something. Let's see. Although before my console output, I am going to be prefixing it with a std ::. There we go. Since I didn't using namespace. Okay, good night, bro. Time for me to sleep. It's already too late. I appreciate you sticking through the stream, Jay. Good night, sweeties. Make sure you get your 8 hours of stream. I'll catch you soon. Okay, std : count. Hey, this is gonna be something like, let's see, I might go with amount. Should I go with Boolean senior age. Boolean discount is member senior age. Okay, well, how do I add discount? Print discount applied if discount is set to true. No discount if discount is set to false. Oh, I see. Okay, so I don't need to calculate my discount here. I can just go with an if statement. So let's go with if. Okay, I'll go with if, add a pair of parentheses, and then let's see, what else do I need to do? Okay, if my discount variable is set to true, so if my discount is set to true, I'm going to be adding a pair of curly parentheses. I'll go with std standard colon colon console output. My output is going to be having two insertion signs, or like an insertion operator. This is going to say something like discount applied exclamation with a semicolon. Alright, let me go with an else clause. Else, I'll add a pair of curly parentheses. std for standard. This is going to be console output. My console output will say something like no discount applied. There we go. I will be ending this with a semicolon. Okay, std count. I gotta add an insertion operator. There we go. And lastly, I'll go ahead and return 0 and add a semicolon as well. Alright, perfect. If I go with Control S and save the command, and if I were to run the command, I delete everything firstly. Run the command, it's going to say something like enter your age. I'll go with something like 17. Enter a amount. I'll go with something like I spent $120. No discount applied. Although, what if I was like 80 years old? Or maybe go with the Control Z, delete this whole thing. Run the command. Okay, what if I'm 80 years old and I bought something for $150? Discount applied. Perfect. Okay, let's go with the Control A, Control C. I might start doing harder stuff from next stream, honestly. But before I move on to harder stuff, I do want to like actually be real good with my basics. That said, I'll go with Shift Enter to go to a new line. Did I like go to a new line? There we go. And just send it. Honestly, I didn't want to say anything. Yo, you learning C++? Yes sir, I started learning C++ 3 days ago. This series is indented inside of my programming for 250 days series. I'm going to be spending a good chunk of that 250 days, for example 100 days learning C++. That said, ha, soldier, you're trying, but I see some crucial mistakes that would get you kicked out of basic training. Problem 1, logic mix up with AND. Boolean discount is member, so if my member is set to true, senior age is set to true, and amount is set to true, actually an amount which is greater than or equal to 100, and is bitwise, okay, and not logical AND. Oh, I added one AND. Okay, my bad guys, I added one AND. That was my fault. You want to and logical AND, otherwise your condition behaves unpredictably. Condition logic is wrong. The requirements discount is true if user is over 60 or user is a member and amount is greater than 100. Your code is doing is member and senior and amount greater than or equal to. All three must be true, which is stricter than required. Okay, discount is true if user is over. Oh, it needs to be or. I thought these three categories must be met to get a discount. Okay, never mind. You went from learning easiest language to learning hardest language. Lol. Honestly, I feel C++ is like so much related to Python. That said, I feel like just because I understand, I think this is because this is the very basics, I still feel like a complete beginner because I think it's like almost the same as Python. That said, fix these soldiers, then your program will finally apply the discount when it should. You think C++ is hard? Honestly, I've heard many people say that C++ is hard. Personally, I feel C++ is like almost the same as Python with just different syntaxes. It feels almost the same because I'm used to like using variables and like if-else-if clause. It might be different once I start making like harder programs. I think because I'm doing like the very basics, it feels easy. Okay, that said, there are like a few different operators. Like instead of going with and, we can go with 2 dashes. Or are these called dashes or like pipelines? Pretty sure they're called pipelines or like bars. There we go. Or and these this or is honestly the same as match case statements in Python, which like other coding languages called switch. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And we use 2 pipes or like bars. Okay, that said, if that happens, discard applied. There we go. If I were to run the command, it says enter your age. Let's go with I'm 80 years old. Enter an amount $60. No discount applied. Okay, the age must be greater than or equal to 60. So if I am a member, which I currently am, okay, or is senior age is set to 2, or amount is greater than 100, discount applied. Okay, let me go with the control. A control C gets sensei here. I think I did everything correct, honestly. Let me paste it at a bunch of space sensei. I think, actually, I feel like I did everything correct, but it seems wrong. Question mark, let's see. Hey, haha soldier, you're still not thinking like C++. You're broadcasting every condition with 2 bars and turning this into a discount carnage fest. Look closely, Boolean discount is member. This is discount is true if any of these are true. Didn't we need any of these to be true? But the requirement is specific. Discount if over 60 or member and amount is greater than 100. Oh, I see. Okay. Right now, even a non-member under 60 with $10 purchase will get a discount. Okay. Amount should be greater than 100 because you're using or everywhere. Okay, fix. Either be a senior or is member and amount is greater than 100. I see. Let me go sensei there. Okay, that said, so if is senior, so I could get my senior there. Let me copy that, delete it from here. Maybe paste it here. So if I am a senior, or let me go with a pair of parentheses right there. Or I am a member, or is underscore member, or is member variable, and the amount is greater than 100. Outside a pair of parentheses, I'll go with a semicolon. Okay, that's going to be considered discount. Okay, if I go with a control S and run the command, maybe delete the whole thing first, and then run the command, what if my age is something like 17 and my amount is 150? Discount applied, okay. Honestly, yeah, this does make sense now. In the other hand, what if I ran the command again? Or maybe delete the whole thing and run the command again. Okay, I can't like highlight stuff for some reason when running the command. Okay, enter your age. What if I'm like 60 years old and my amount is $20? Discount applied, perfect. Lastly, what if I'm like 17 years old and let's say I bought $2 stuff, no discount applied. Okay, perfect. Let's go with a control C. And guys, I might have to end this stream soon because I did start streaming sooner because I had extra time, but I do have an exam real soon. I might stream for another hour though. I think I should stream for another hour. Let me say, let's say it works. I feel like I'm starting to understand, although I still need way more practice. Okay, let's get more practice questions. Maybe I drink some water. Ha ha ha, soldier, finally the discount logic stands strong. Look at that beauty. You understood operators, precedents, and before or. Wait, hold up. You understood operator precedents and before or. Okay, I might copy that and later ask what does this mean. You separated conditions logically, you initialized variables after input. This is exactly how C++ thinks. Not like Python where it lets you get away with slack. Next step, more practice to solidify your Boolean and if skills. Question 2. The secret club entry. Write a program that takes input from the user, age integer, has invitation Boolean member points. Determine if the user can enter the secret club. Okay, they can enter if age is greater than or equal to 21, has invitation to, or member points is greater than 1,000. Print, remove the parentheses. Do you make a roadmap for C++? Honestly, yeah, I'm pretty sure I do have a roadmap. let's see if I have it like right now. I forgot where I had the roadmap. I think it was in my Discord server. You guys can like mention me on Discord if you guys want the roadmap. I will try finding that after the stream maybe. Actually, let me just check it real quick. If I go to moderator only. Okay, I do not have a roadmap. Okay, although guys, I will be making a roadmap after the stream. So if you guys want a roadmap, you guys could like mention me on Discord. That said, I don't know why did I create a roadmap. I'm like never unprepared. Probably because I forgot creating a roadmap because of my exam studying from my college. Remove the parentheses. From where should I remove the parentheses? From here? Or is member and... I mean, honestly, I think this would work exactly the same. I think it's more readable with the parentheses on, but I think what are the shame. That said, let me go with the controller, delete the whole thing. Let me start off by adding a hashtag and add a pair of angle brackets, IO stream. So I'll include IO stream, and then I'll go with something like, I don't know, I'll typecast my main function into a integer, and then I'll add a pair of quotations. Actually, I have a pair of curly parentheses, IO stream, STREAM. There we go. Hello, bro. How you doing, Line? I appreciate you joining this stream. Okay, that said, let me go down, up, hit tab to indent. Okay, perfect. So what I'll do, I need take a input from a user. I need a age, a has invite, which is a boolean, and a member point, which is an integer. So let me go with an integer. Doing real good. Wish there was a way I can contact you. Honestly, you can like join my Discord server, and then usually sometimes when I'm done with my college stuff, maybe I like look at my Discord and then I reply to people, because like there are many people who like ask me questions for like my roadmap and like what I did for Python and all that stuff. That said, I do like chatting with you guys as well. Okay, let me go ahead and create integer. Let's go with a age variable and a member points variable. So I'll go with member points. Okay, both of them. I will be ending this with a semicolon, and then let me go ahead and create a boolean variable, which is going to be a has invitation. So I'll go with has invitation. There we go. My has invitation is going to be a boolean variable. Alright, perfect. What else? Determine if the user can enter the secret club. So they can enter if age is greater than or equal to 21 and has invitation. Okay. Although before I add a variable, or like before I add like more boolean variables that says if my user has access to something, I will be getting their input. So I'll go with std : okay, I'll go with std : and then let's see. So standard, a console output. I'll need a console output. I'll go with two I forgot what this was called, insertion operators. Oh, we actually forgot what was this called. Insertion operators. Okay, I'll go with an insertion operator and say something like enter a age : okay, I'll end it with a pair of, actually I end it with a semicolon and then go with another standard : this is going to be my console's input with an extraction operator. I'll go with my age variable, add a pair of colon, or actually I'll add a semicolon, and then I'll go with standard : I'll go with a console output, add an insertion operator in a pair of double quotes. I'm going to be adding a string that says something like, let's see, determine if the user can enter, has invitation is set to 2. So I could set my has invitation to be equal to true by default, so I wouldn't have to set that. So I'll set that equal to true. Okay, std output. This is going to be member points. So enter member points. How do you spell member? There we go, that should be correct. Enter member points. I will be ending this with a semicolon, and then I'll go with a standard console input with an extraction operator. Standard with 2 colons. There we go. Console input with an extraction operator. I will extract my member points and end it with a semicolon. And now under that, I will go with another boolean variable. This variable is going to be called something like, let's see, determine if the user can enter the secret club. Okay, if their age, so I could go with something like age okay. If my age is okay, okay, age okay is going to be equal to my age variable if it's either greater than or equal to 18. So if my age is greater than or equal to 18, age okay is going to be set to true. I will end this with a semicolon, and then I might go with member points. Let's see. Has invitation equals to true, okay. And then I'll go with Boolean member points. This is going to be member points. I have a invitation member points variable. I could copy that variable and paste it here. There we go. My member points is going to be equal to true if my member points is greater than or equal to 1,000. Excuse me, guys. Alright, perfect. Next up, let me add a few if statements. So I could go with something like if, add a pair of parentheses inside my parentheses. If age is okay, if my age okay is set to true, I could go with or if my age okay is set to true, or member points is set to true. Okay, I'm going to be doing something. I'll go with a pair of curly parentheses and print something like access granted. Maybe I'll end this with a semicolon. Okay, delete that, go there. Okay, I'm going to be printing something like welcome to the secret club. They can enter, access denied otherwise. So I'll go with standard 2 colons. This is going to be a console output. So I'll go with C out with an insertion operator. I'm going to be inserting a text. That is going to be something like welcome to the secret club. I'll go with welcome to the secret club. There we go. Okay, welcome to the secret club exclamation. I might go with an else as well. After adding a semicolon here, I'll go with an else clause. Else, add a pair of curly parentheses. I'm gonna go with std standard. I'll go with a console output. My console output is gonna be having an insertion operator that is gonna be saying something like access denied exclamation. Okay, I will end this with a semicolon. Okay, maybe I'm gonna hydrate my lips a bit. It's a little dry. Guys, I honestly miss my coffee today, although I do need to try drinking a bit less coffee. I feel like I've been living on coffee these days. Okay, that said, Boolean variable store conditions. I think that's pretty much it. Let me go ahead and return 0 with a semicolon. Alright, if I were to type Control S and save my command, run the command, maybe delete that and go with a fresh terminal. Okay, it says Boolean member points equals to member points greater than or equal to. Okay, instead of going with member points, I could set my member points greater than or equal to. Okay. Member points or member points, okay. I can go with member points, okay. There we go. Alright, perfect. Now if I go with Control S and run the command, it's gonna say enter a age. My age is gonna be something like, I'll go with 19. Enter member points, I'll go with 1,500. Welcome to the secret club. If I run the command again, okay, enter age, what if I'm 17? And my member points are 850. Access denied. Hold up, I want to run that again. Enter age, my age is going to be 17. My member points is going to be 1,040. So let's go with 1,040. Welcome to the secret club. Okay, hold up, okay, that works actually because I did add an or here, not an and. Okay, let me go with the control Control C, gets Sitsa here. Okay, I think I'm getting a good grasp of if else if. Let me paste add a bunch of spaces and say, actually, instead of adding a bunch of spaces, I'll go with a shift enter to like go to a new line. I'll say, should say, maybe in caps, should say, I feel like I'm getting a good grasp of this, ... Okay, maybe I drink some water. Ha ha ha, soldier, you're getting stronger, but I see some logical tweak points in your code that would fail a real mission. Issue, age check is wrong. Boolean age okay if my age is either greater than or equal to 18. Requirement of age is 21 and has invitation. Oh, is it 21? I thought it was 18. Okay, you only checked 18 and ignored has invitation. Oh, okay, has invitation, guys. I read the instructions wrong. Okay, logic in if wrong. Logic in if statement is wrong, if age okay, or member points okay. According to the mission, you can enter if age is greater than or equal to 21 and has invitation, or member points are greater than or equal to 1,000. Using or between age okay and member points ignores the and condition. Okay, so if my age is and has invitation. Okay, I did mess up that point. That was that. Okay. How it should look, just logic, no full code. Boolean invitation okay is going to be set to true if age is greater than or equal to 21 and has invitation. Boolean points okay is going to be equal to true if member points is greater than or equal to 1000. Boolean can enter is going to be equal to true if invitation okay or points okay. I see. Then okay, fix this logic, soldier. Okay, let me go to say there. Alright, that said, let me go ahead and fix my logic. So the thing that I was messing up with, my age is going to be okay. Firstly, I'll change my this thing to be 21. So if my age is greater than or equal to 21 and has invitation, only then my age okay is going to be set to true. Boolean member points okay if my member points is greater than or equal to 800. Boolean access pass is this variable even, I mean, does it even make sense? Access pass might go with pass. Okay, I think I'll go with access pass. That makes more sense. There we go. Access pass is going to be equal to either my age okay variable, so age okay, or let's go with the member points okay. Member points okay. There we go. Alright, let me add a semicolon to end this. And instead of this, I'll go with if access pass. If my access pass is set to true, I'm gonna print welcome to the secret club, else I'm gonna say access denied. If I were to go with a control S to save and run the command. Okay, enter a age, I'm 17, I have 2000 member points. Welcome to the secret club. Okay, that went somewhere wrong. My age is going to be okay. Okay, if my age is greater than or equal to 21. Access pass. So either my age okay is going to be true or member point. Oh, I went with an or. I might go with an and. Okay, let's see. Access pass. So either I want to have my age to be okay or member points okay, which is going to be okay here. I could just go with access pass for my age. So either my age is 21 and I have invitation, or my age is greater than or equal to 21 and has member points. If I were to go with the control S to save and run the command. Okay, it says enter a age. Let me enter something like 17. I don't know, 2000 points. Access denied. There we go, there we go. If I were to run the command again, I am 23, but I have 10 points. It's gonna say welcome to the secret club because my has invite is set to true. That said, let's go with the controller. Control C. Get sensei here. Paste it, add a bunch of space sensei. It works. ... Although I do want to do something a bit harder maybe. This feels easy, but I need enough practice, so maybe more questions like this or a bit harder every time until I don't get overwhelmed. Okay, if that made any sense, guys. Let's see. Haha, soldier, now we're talking. Look at that beauty. You fixed the and slash or logical perfectly. You used Boolean variables like a true C++ warrior. You structured your conditions cleanly. Next challenge, level up. Question 3. Bank loan approval. Write a program that takes input from the user, age, integer, income double, credit score integer, has criminal record, boolean true or false. Determine if the user is eligible for a loan. Eligible if age is either greater than or equal to 21 and income is greater than or equal to 30,000 and credit score is greater than or equal to 700 and no criminal record, or income is greater than or equal to 50,000 and credit score is greater than or equal to 650,000. Okay, print loan approved if eligible, loan denied. Otherwise, use Boolean variables to store each condition. Take inputs first, calculate conditions second, use std prefix. Okay, let's get Sensei there. Okay, my mic's battery might just run out real quick. Let me actually check if my Twitch and Kickstream is going good. Okay, Kick seems good. Let's check Twitch. Excuse me, guys. Okay, it works. Alright, that's it. Let's go with the Control A. Let me go ahead and delete that. Maybe zoom in a little. And go with hashtag. I am going to be including a pair of ankle braces, my IO stream. Okay, so I will be including IO stream and then I will typecast my main function inside of an integer. Maybe go with a space, type a pair of curly parentheses, go to the next line, add a bunch of spaces, go up, tap to indent. Now what all variables would I need? So let's see. There are I'll need like 4 different variables. First is going to be an age variable, which is an integer. Second is going to be an income variable, which is double. Third is going to be a credit score variable, which is integer. Lastly, a hash criminal record variable, which is going to be a boolean. So firstly, I'll go with integer. My integer is going to be my, excuse me guys, is going to be my age and my credit score. So credit score. And guys, if I sound a little scuffy, it's because I gotta blow my nose real quick. I actually might blow my nose. Bro, you're trying to learn every language at this point. Honestly, I definitely want to learn all languages. That said, it does sound kind of fun to like learn multiple languages. Python, when I first started, was kind of, it felt a little intimidating, but then after I actually understood Python, C++ seems kind of fun. Okay, that said, I go with integer age, and I do have to blow my nose real quick. Honestly, guys, I might blow my nose real quick because of my headphones and all these electronics here, it's kind of scuffy. That said, I will be hiding my webcam, so I don't want to like show you guys my snot. So let me just hide my webcam. There we go. Maybe hide my whole group right there, and then mute myself real quick, guys. Give me 2 minutes or like 1 minute. I'll blow my nose real quick, and we're back. Already, mic testing, mic testing. Let me just get my group back on. There we go. Okay, let me go. Alright, so where was I? I went with integer, age, and credit score. I will end this with a semicolon. I do need a double, a floating point number for my income, so I'll typecast my income to be a double, which is a floating point number. I will be ending this with a semicolon, and then I might need a boolean. My boolean is going to be for my has criminal record, so I'll go with a has criminal record. I'm going to be typecasting that to be a boolean variable. which is going to be having a semicolon as well. And then I'm going to be determining, is that how you pronounce it, if the user is eligible for a loan. All right, so before I determine any of that, I will be asking the user for a few inputs. So I will go with standard, 2 colons, and then I'll go with a console output. My console output will have a insertion operator. In my insertion operator, I'm going to be adding a text inside of a pair of double quotes, which is going to say something like, enter your age. Okay, and then I'll end this with a semicolon, go with another standard, 2 colons, a console input with an extraction operator. That is going to be my age variable. I will be ending with a semicolon as well. And then I'll go with std, standard, 2 colons. I'll go with a console output with an insertion operator, which is going to be something like enter your credit score. There we go. Credit score. Okay, perfect. I will be ending with a semicolon as well, and then I'll go with a std, colon. I'll go with a console input, which is going to be having an extraction operator. That is going to be my credit score. My credit score variable. Is the spelling correct? There we go. I will be ending with a semicolon. I will set my boolean has criminal record to be equal to false by default. There we go. And then let me go all the way down here. What else would I need? Income. So let me go ahead and add a one for income as well. I'll go with std, standard, 2 colons, a console output. My console output is going to be having an insertion operator that is going to be having a text in a pair of double quotes. Since it is a string, I'm going to be saying enter your net worth. Is that how you call it? Enter your net worth? I don't know, guys. I like using fancy words. Which program you creating? Honestly, I'm not creating a program. I'm trying to like master C++ because I started a series like where I learned Python for 100 days, and my goal by the end of that Python for 100 days series was to make a game using Python, and I'm done with that series. Like I was done with it 3 days ago. So I thought to create another series called Programming for 250 Days, where my goal by the end of this 250 day series is to like create a game in general that includes AI/artificial intelligence inside of that game. That said, my learning C++ for a 100 day series is indented inside of my Programming for 250 day series. So out of that 250 day series where I'm going to be learning any programming language or anything in general that I have to, I'm going to be spending a good chunk, 100 days, to master C++. Guys, it's so hard to always phrase that correct. Okay, enter your income. Okay, that said, let me end this with a semicolon and go with a standard. I'll go with a CN. Very good. I appreciate you. Shamir, is that how you pronounce your name, guys? I'm awful at pronunciations. I gotta start learning my name. Because there are sometimes when I like think that if I pronounce you guys' name wrong, I'm like hurting you guys in a way, and that feels kind of bad, guys. I should work on my spellings. That said, I go with a console input with an extraction operator. This is gonna be my income variable. There we go. Alright, perfect. And then let's see the next step. Determine if the user is eligible for a loan. Eligible if age is greater than or equal to 21 and income is greater than or equal to 30,000 and credit score is greater than or equal to 700. Okay, so I'm eligible for a loan if that is true and no criminal record. Let's go with the if statement in that case. So if a pair of parentheses, if my age, I might create a few other Boolean variables. So I'll go with a Boolean variable for age, okay. Also that is going to be equal to true if my age variable. Honestly, I might go with loan. So loan, okay. There we go. Loan, okay. Alright, so my loan, okay, is going to be equal to true if these conditions are met. If my age is greater than or equal to 21, let's go with alright, so if my age variable is greater than or equal to 21, and I'll go with and operators, my income variable is greater than or equal to 30,000. That's 3,000, that's 30,000. And lastly, let's see, my credit score is either greater than or equal to 700. Okay, and my credit score variable is either greater than or equal to 700. And lastly, I'll add another and. There we go. This and is going to be and no credits. Okay. And a has a criminal record is going to be equal to false. Okay, I'll go with has criminal record. Do I need to go with a not? I don't think I need to go with a not because I did set it to be false here. Okay, that said, I will be ending this with a semicolon. I'll go to a new line and add a if statement now. If my loan okay, if in a pair of parentheses my loan is okay, if I'm eligible to take a loan, I'm going to be adding a pair of curly parentheses and going with std standard to colon. I'll be needing a console output. So cout console output with an extension operator or with an insertion operator. And I'll say text. I'll say something like, let's see, loan approved if eligible, else loan denied. So I can go with loan approved. APPROVED. There we go. Loan approved. And then I'll end this with a semicolon. Let's go with an else clause. Else, I'll add a pair of curly parentheses. I'll go with standard 2 colons. A console output. My console output is going to be inserting. I'm going to be adding an insertion operator, which is going to say something like loan denied. There we go. I will be ending that with a semicolon as well. Alright, that said, the Boolean, Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Let me go ahead and return 0 with a semicolon. If I were to hit Control S and save everything, run the command, clear my terminal, run the command again. Enter your age. I'm 21. Enter your credits. Did I spell that wrong? There we go. Enter your credit score. I'll enter something like 700. Actually, I'll go with 750. Enter your income. I earn something like, I don't know, I'll go with 60,000 a month. Loan denied. Wait, didn't that meet the criteria? Okay, so eligible if age is greater than or equal to 250, loan okay. If my age is greater than or equal to 21, income is greater than or equal to 300, and credit score is greater than or equal to 700, and no criminal record. Can I use the not here and not criminal record? Hold up, I might be able to use the not here. That is set to true by default. I will set that to be false. Okay, or so I could add this whole thing to be in a tuple. There we go. Is that called a tuple here? I didn't learn collections in C++ yet. Or I go with income. My income variable is either greater than or equal to 50,000. So 50, 500, 5,000, 50,000. And the credit score is greater than or equal to 650. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure you guys can see this though. Okay, let's see. Alright, if I zoom in, I go with a Control S, save the code. I can see your full if. Honestly, yeah, it's like right here. Can you guys like see that now? That says or my income is greater than or equal to 50,000 and credit score is greater than or equal to 650. I tried shrinking the screen. I hope you guys can like see this part. Because for my vertical stream, like I don't have the full screen, and because then it will be like a tiny screen. So I just zoom in a little. Can you see that? No, will not. Not will not use. Not will not work. Use. Not will not work. Use. Does that mean like not does not work? Okay, I see. Alright, wait. What if I like try running? Will I get like an error? Enter your age, I'm 21. Credit score, 750. Enter income, I'll go with 30,000. Loan approved. I want to ask Sensei a question actually. I'll go with a Control C, get Sensei here. Okay, I want to... What if I paste this? Add a bunch of spaces. Let's say Sensei. So, I didn't learn about membership operators in C++. I did learn about membership operators, OPERTORs, operators in Python. Does it work the same in C++? Question mark? I didn't add a question mark. Ha ha ha, soldier, I see you're thinking in Python again. Okay, C++ doesn't have membership operators like in or not in. In Python, you can do if X in my list. In C++, there is no direct in. You have to manually check using conditions, loops, or functions like std find for arrays, vectors, boolean, lone, okay, Look at your code. Not has criminal record. This is okay. C++ allows not instead of use X. Okay, so that's what this comment meant. I was like, not will not work, use exclamation. I thought like you were saying this with excitement. Never mind. Okay, yeah, actually the exclamation does make sense. But you never set has criminal record from your input. std count, you have a criminal record. 1 for yes, 0 for no. std c input criminal record, without input undefined. Okay, fix the input. I see. Okay. So instead of not, I can use, let's see, an exclamation. There we go. Excuse me, guys. All right, and then in my std, I'm gonna add another standard output. Okay, a c out with an insertion sign. This is gonna be saying something like, do you have a criminal record? There we go. Let me just go with y/n. So I'll go with y/n. Yes/no. And I'll end us with a semicolon. Then I'll go with standard. 2 colons. I'll go with a console input with an extraction operator. I'm going to be getting a user input for my has criminal record variable. There we go. Okay. Y/n. Okay, let's see. Honestly, I might have to add more if statements to check if this is set to y, this is true, else it's false. Instead, I could just go here and initially set this equal to false. Okay. Alright, if I were to go with a Control S to save, run the command, maybe delete this and then go with a fresh terminal. Enter your age. I'm 21. Enter your credit score. Let's go with something like 700. Bro, just learn full stack development. You won't use this or remember this. I mean, honestly, I'll definitely be practicing more of C++, so like I might remember this, but I will definitely look into full stack development. I don't know what that means though. You should take 0 or 1. Does that like make a difference for like 0 or 1? Wait, let me go with a bunch of control Z's. Okay, let's go with 1 or 0. I know that 0 and 1 are like binaries where like 0 is true and 1 is false. Although, does it like make a difference? 0 or 1? 0 true, 1 false. Okay. And not... Okay, if I were to go with a Control S, with full stack, you can learn more concepts and do more complicated projects. Honestly, that sounds pretty cool. I might actually try that. Because database is Boolean. Oh, what does CN mean? Honestly, in the C stands for console and IN/in stands for input. So CN basically means for console input. Unlike in Python we do like print input and then we add a text. Instead of doing that here, we go with the standard output. Like my standard output is enter a income, and under that we go with an input. So after my output, I need an input. That's going to be my income variable, if that made any sense, guys. Data type. Okay, I see. All right, if I were to run the command, okay, maybe go up, enter your age. I'll say that I'm 21. Enter your credit score, 750. Enter your income, 30,000. Enter, do you have a criminal record? I'll go with 1 for no. Loan approved. That does work. Hold up. Wait, I want to go with false and try as well. Okay, let me clear my terminal. Okay, let's see. Enter age, I'm 21. Enter credit score, 750. Enter income, I'll go with 30,000 again. Do you have a criminal record? I'll go with yes. Loan denied. It does. Okay, so I thought 0 and 1 were just like for, is it called like filters or just like for like effects or anything. Never mind. 0 is true, 1 is false. Okay, T-Y. Do the Odlin, is that how I pronounce it, or Odin project and just focus on it. Honestly, I'll definitely try it. Like, I'll look into it if I have time after the stream, because I probably gotta end the stream right now because I have an exam coming up for my college just like in like 3 days or something. I need to prepare a lot for that. That's the reason I only have like time to actually code while I'm streaming. So that might be the one reason I might forget that stuff. That said, let me go with the Control A, Control C. Get say here. Paste it, add a bunch of spaces. 0 false in all languages. Oh, even in Python? Honestly, yeah, that does make sense. I did like hear someone say that 0 is false in like Python as well, so I think it's in all languages. Okay, let me go and say, let's say it works dot. Although I do need to, let me just remove this. Okay, although I do need to end the stream right now because I need to study for my college stuff dot. That said, is there anything maybe motivating? Because I usually just ask Sensei to say anything. She just randomly yells at the people on stream, so I'll be like, is there anything motivating that you want to say to the viewers before I end the stream? Question mark. Okay, let's see. Listen up, soldiers of the stream. Today you saw a human learn C++ like a true warrior, making mistakes, fixing logic, and mastering conditions. Remember this. Failure isn't the enemy, laziness is. Every time you think you're struggling, that's your brain getting stronger. Guys, I so relate with this. When I first started learning programming, my brains were practically yelling, and while learning recursion, that's maybe my first stream or something, I almost started like that. Almost made me cry, guys. So go study, go push your limits, and know this. The difference between a novice and a master isn't talent, it's refusing to quit. Now off with now off with you, and you come back, we'll crush even harder logics. That said, let me go to my main camera. Alrighty guys, so honestly that was basically it for the stream. I do wish I could have streamed for longer because before my college I used to stream for like 6 hours or 5 hours. That said, I am planning to end the stream right now. So if you guys enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Like helps with my algorithm, sharing makes you smile, and subscribing is like a cherry on top. And guys, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube at the same time. So if you guys enjoy my content and haven't followed me on Twitch and Kick yet, make sure to follow me on Twitch and Kick. And if you guys haven't subscribed to me on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube, and also join the Discord server. Link is in the description and the pinned comments. And well, I'll catch you guys in the next live stream.